button.
2 seconds.
And as other people mention, they always see and hear me before I do. They're like, oh, yeah, we see you on YouTube before you say the light is green. I'm like, well, dude, I can only go with what I see here. All right. And right now the light is on. And actually, this is another weird thing.
Yep, and it's there.
It's not even green. It's yellow. The light is yellow. It's like a caution flag. But anyways, we're on the internet, so we're going to cue the intro, and we're going to start the dumpster fire almost on schedule. So here we go.
Hi, this is Dale Lear, designer of TRS-80 Color Baseball, and you're listening to CoCoTALK.
This is CoCoTALK, the world's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy Color computer. With your host, Mr. Can't Get Past Level 1 in any game, Stevie Stroh. Good evening and welcome, everybody. Welcome to episode 98 of CoCoTALK. We are live. We are on the internet. It's Saturday night. Do you know where your color computers are? I know where mine are. And we've got a panel for you. We've got an audience on the internet. We've got a panel on the show. We've got cats and dogs living in harmony. We've got solder porn up on the screen here. Look at those joints. Look how clean those. Look at that grill right now. That is just gorgeous. So there's all kinds of stuff going on here. So in the bottom left-hand corner, we have Richard Lorbieski of Voice on Technology showing off some high definition soldering on the screen there, looking quite nice. Good evening, Richard. Welcome to the program.
Hello. Yeah, actually, that's by accident. I was meaning to double check some of the wave soldering I had done. So I was like, oh crap, it's going on to the webcam. So
it's going on the webcam.
It looks like you got a blob there between two of them pins.
Oh yeah. There's blobs. So that's quite normal. I have to go in there and unsolder, straighten it out. But
is that carpet?
This right here? No, this is metal right there.
Yeah, that would be. I
was just going to ask about some of my hair or not. So
yeah.
Brian Schubring, it's the same Zoom link that it is every week. Posting it in the live chat. Hopefully you'll see it. I don't know if it makes its way through. So yeah, it is. It's out there. It's the same link every week. Matter of fact, if you open Zoom, you might even see. You might see that there's a history of places you've been in the past. Well, welcome, Richard Lorbieski. The screen keeps moving around on me here, so it's hard to keep an eye on things. So Brian the Music Man, looks like he's joined. There he goes. Brian the Music Man has joined us. Good evening, Brian. All right, my screen keeps screwing around. So I'm going to go back in the top left-hand corner of the screen here. And we have a special guest. I think first time on the show, David O'Connor is with us. Welcome, David.
Thank you very much, Stevie.
It's a pleasure to have you, and we'll get to know you a little bit more in just a little bit when we go around the room here. We have Mark B with us. Mark Bosley, how are you this evening, Mark?
Oh, just fine.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for wearing that lovely shirt. I must say, I'm quite jealous. And Jason Downs has joined us. Hey, Jason. Also
Hello.
Wearing a lovely shirt there, like that, the deluxe CoCoTALK shirt. I'm digging it.
It is.
That's right. We've got from Canada, lovely Curtis Boyle's with us. Good day. And how's it going, eh? Joining us from Chicago, Brian the Music Man Schubring is with us. Hello, Brian.
hello.
And you've joined us at the beginning of the show. It's nice to have you here from the top. Take it from the top, Brian. This time with feeling.
Hello.
All right. From the bottom of the earth, the thunder from down under, the guy who will never put a cartridge game together no matter how much you pay him, Nicholas Marentes is here. G'day, Nick.
G'day, everyone. How are you?
Not bad. The guy who says, screw you, cartridges. But a guy...
I could have sworn you said bottom of the barrel, not
but a guy who has made many cartridges and cartridge cases is also with us, John Strong, this evening. Hello, John.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome. Another foreigner on the show. We don't build walls here on CoCoTALK from the Great White North. D. Bruce Moore's with us. How's it going, eh?
It's going great.
All right. Celebrity booking agent, a guy who has lunch with all the A-listers is with us here, Ron Delvaux.
Hello, everybody.
All right.
How's it going?
And very, very good. And the most prolific programmer to ever lay his fingers on the MC10, Jim Gerrie, is with us in the flesh, too. Hey, Jim, how are you? Welcome.
Good day, guys.
Glad to have you. I see you've got some semi-graphics artwork in the background there, which is nice.
Yeah. Nothing beats semi-graphic.
All right. Can't beat it. You can't beat it. Well, we got a lot of things lined up this evening. So we have music things to cover.
MC10. Jim Gerrie with the flesh too. Hey Jim, how are you? Welcome.
All right, Ron, that's a party foul. Ron just looped audio back into the program. Look at it. He's scrambling to find the on-off volume and mute buttons there. Oh no. Let's all watch Ron. Let's all watch Ron. We're gonna watch Ron panic and press buttons until he figures it out.
Yeah, I thought it was on the monitor, but it's on the speakers behind. And so,
Welcome to Groundhog Day.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
Hey, listen, it's a professional show. We'd expect nothing less than this.
So good you have to hear it twice.
Yes, it's so good. So as I was saying, we have music to cover this evening. We have boxes of things will be unopened, and other things are going to happen. So things are going on. So I think what I'd like to do, and just to put the man on the spot himself right now, but we have a special guest with us who has never been on the program before, and he's got some interesting things behind him. A couple of those things happen to be color computers, and behind those color computers happens to be what looks like, I was mentioning this earlier, this looks like a Walter Carlos a tribute going on back here. A lot of analog gear. So he's here with us in the flesh. His name is David O'Connor. Welcome, David.
Thank you once again, Stevie. It's a pleasure to be here.
And tell us, in no particular order, tell us about you. And then tell us about what we're looking at here on the screen of all this tech. And any way you want to bring us up to that, you feel free to do that.
Okay. Well, my journey into the CoCos started at the start of the 80s, basically. In primary school before that, in the late 70s, and just before that, we got into a Dick Smith System 80, which we had at the school, in primary school in grade 5, which was based on the Z80 microprocessor. Then later on, the next year, they upgraded to micro-Bs, which were also an Australian Z80-based system. And then I found the CoCo in Tandy Electronics. I was always into electronics. It's been a fascination and a hobby for me for many decades. So I saw the Tandy, the CoCo one, and all its fantastic colour. So the Micro B and the System 80 were monochrome systems, much like the original TRS 80 models 1 to 4. And yeah, this one here, the one that's running the audio spectrum analyzer that's actually responding to my microphone, that was my first CoCo one that I actually got in probably around 1982, maybe 1983.
Wow.
Looks like you upgraded the keyboard, though.
Yeah, the keyboard upgrade was one of the first things to happen, and 64K of RAM. It's an early one with a 16K badge underneath there.
Okay.
So I got it with 16K, but it had extended color basic. So yeah, the keyboard upgrade, then the memory upgrade, and I did a few modifications to it. Added an analog output from the DAC, 6-bit DAC in it, for tinkering with electronic projects. I was always reading Rainbow magazine or Hot Cocoa or what was the other one? There was 3.
Computer Mag.
Yeah, it might have been actually. Yeah, but Hot Cocoa was probably the one I read the most, and then Rainbow the second most.
Yeah, but you're not from Canada, are you?
He's
No,
Australian.
Yep, down under.
Hello, mate.
So Nick doesn't need a translator for you. So.
Yeah, no.
I can understand everything he says.
If I come up with some Aussie euphemisms there, then Nick might be able to translate for me. So computers, electronics, and music have basically been the staples throughout my life. I came into this world in 1971, and I've always been fascinated by electronic music. The likes of Jean-Michel Jarre with his pioneering album called Oxygen, which some of you may have heard of.
That's an awesome album.
It's fantastic. It's still to this day, track 2 still gives me chills every time I hear it. It's good for it. That and Tangerine Dream, German.
Yeah.
So I've been heavily influenced by them, and also by typical 80s pop. I was a teenager in the 80s, so grew up with all the 80s. Top 40 hits and everything, and that was really the era of synth pop. So synthesizers and music were big then. That's when they made their big debut, really.
Yeah.
But then there was also, like you were saying earlier on, Stevie Walter or Wendy or Walter.
Yeah, right. One of probably the first one of the first famous gender reassignments in history too. So. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So, I basically can see in the background they're heavily influenced by that. The project behind me here, this big modular analog synthesizer, is a project I'm building myself. And it's something I'm planning on writing software and also developing some hardware for the CoCos to get them to actually control that system.
Wow.
Hopefully be working with Brendan Donaghy and Ed Snyder. So,
neat.
Yeah, been talking about a few ideas, and especially with Ed about interface ideas to interface the computers to the real world. That's probably my next project, and maybe get to write up something about that in an edition of Rainbow magazine.
Oh, there you go. Tie it all together. Excellent. Excellent. And so I wish Steve Bjork was here to see this, but I like that you've got the audio spectrum analyzer real time going through your microphone there. That's pretty cool.
I figured that would probably be a little bit of icing on the cake. We have to show up something there, and if I can have the CoCo one doing something practical in the background.
What's the other one doing?
The other one is just playing a demo of Tetris. So I've got a bit of an addiction to Tetris. I love Tetris. So. But they're both running CoCo VGAs and CoCo SDCs. So,
they're both running CoCo VGAs.
Yeah, yep.
All right. So
LCD monitors, both of those. So.
Okay. Very cool. So we have all kinds of modern tech in there.
Absolutely. Yeah. The tweaking hasn't stopped.
Rob Inman's asking how you're using the NTSC artifact colors on Tetris, and that's because it's the CoCo VGA. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Because obviously, being in Australia, the PAL CoCo doesn't have artifact colors. So.
Yeah, when the world's upside down, the color molecules can't stay together or something like that, right? So
yeah, they get straight out when
the gravity sucks all the color out of it.
The color's down in Antarctica or something, I think, at this point.
The bits fall out.
Yeah.
We need a less technical explanation. I was a bit confused with that.
Somebody translate for Nick.
It's probably because our toilets flush the opposite way, apparently, and maybe the color gets sucked down the toilet or something. I don't know.
Something like that. So how long have you been back? How long have you been back in it now? When we call it the retro hobby.
About probably 6 months, I would say.
Oh, really?
The CoCo's always been sitting on my shelf, and it actually developed a fault where the RF converter was failing, and the picture was almost unreadable. So I saw it sitting on my shelf, and I thought I really should get this out and really, fix it and get it running again. And I just did some Google searches, and funny enough, through a Google search, I found the CoCo Facebook group and joined there, and looked into options of building a composite mod for it and get rid of the RF converter altogether, which was never that great anyway. So yeah, then posted about that on the CoCo Facebook group, and there started to be communications between everybody. And I saw how active the group was, and then found out about CoCo VGA and all the work that Ed and Brendan had done. And it's just taken off from there.
Yeah, I guess it looks good.
Do you have an STC too?
Yeah, there's an STC in each of those.
Good.
Yeah, so you're up to speed. You've got CoCos, you've got CoCo VGAs, you've got CoCo SDCs, you've got all the modern toys now.
It's back in the early 80s, there's no way I would have envisaged in 2019 not only still using my CoCo 1, but actually upgrading them. And writing for Rainbow magazine. I mean, that's it's blown my mind what's going on. The activity of the community these days is just, it's really inspiring what everybody's doing. Boomerangs for the CoCo 3 and whatnot. And, it's so many other projects.
Yeah, it's.
Whereabouts are you? What city in Australia?
I grew up in Victoria, in Geelong, which is, for those who don't know, is an hour from Melbourne. But for the last probably nearly 10 years, I've been living in Adelaide. So I'm in Adelaide right now in South Australia.
All right.
Whereabouts are you, Nick?
I'm in Brisbane.
Ah, okay. My family are in Brisbane.
All right.
Just look out your back window and yell at him. You shouldn't be that far
away. All of your neighbors, Nick, are represented here.
We're getting a lot of Australians showing up to the CoCo community now, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
I'll be able to understand everything soon.
Yeah, it's to the point now where we're going to need to make an Australian CoCo Fest. We're going to have to make the trek.
It'd be good to have something like that in Australia. It really would.
Yeah,
maybe we could go halfway in the Atlantic Ocean somewhere.
Made in Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii. Yeah,
there you go.
I'd rather go to Tahiti.
Yeah, Nick did an Oz K Fest not too long ago.
For the Apple
ago.
too, yeah.
Yeah, but it was still a retro event though. So
yeah,
do a CoCo cruise.
The CoCo cruise. There we go.
Great.
A walkabout.
It'd be a booze cruise the whole time, right? So that would be cool. Well, we're delighted to have you here, David, and feel free to chime in at any time as we are just going through our evenings of frolicking. So we definitely have some music stuff to talk about. So we figured we would start with David O'Connor with this kind of music background. In our news articles, I've got a handful of musical things to show off from the Game Master Cartridge. There's been a handful of posts from that this week. But we also have some things to come out of a box, if I'm not mistaken, too. And Paulie T has joined us. Is that Paul Thayer?
Yes, it is. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Paulie T. Welcome.
Thank you.
And so Jason Downs has sent me some videos of something that's in a box that's going to come out of a box. Now, I have not seen these videos yet. These have not been screened or approved by any censor organizations of standards and practices.
Well, they're certainly safe for work, but quality-wise, I wouldn't go so far as to say they're particularly high quality.
All right. Well, let me look at the details of these two things. So I've got two video clips. One of them is 20 seconds, and one of them is 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Which one should I play first?
Do the 20-second one first, yeah.
Do the 20-second one first. I'm not sure what screen it's going to show up on, so here we go.
Okay, here we go. This is a box I got in the mail today. And it is from the eBay Global Shipping Program.
eBay Global Shipping Program.
Let's find out.
Oh, so that was a teaser.
Yes.
That was a teaser. Yeah. Okay. So we can see that it's from eBay Global, but we don't know what's inside. So maybe this can be our contest this week. Since which by the way, I have to ship off we have to ship off the prize now to the guy who won last week. VR buddy Ben Drake's. But this is going to be, how about we make this a contest? Does anybody want to guess what's in the box? And if you guess right, you win a prize. Anyone want to guess?
Talent.
Talent.
Can we see the
Obviously,
box?
didn't ship here.
You want to see? Okay, let's do this one more time. I'm going to show you the 20-second clip one more time.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, yeah, it's obvious now.
Brown cardboard, packing tape, eBay.
It is from the
You know what? I recognize those Post-it notes. That's from Tomb Raider.
They are, yes.
I have those. I got those Post-it notes with my deluxe set that I got. All right.
CM8 monitor?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay, we have 2 guesses for a CM8 monitor. Anyone else want to guess anything? Has the guessing concluded?
Well, it could be a Coco 3 with a GT116 in there.
A GT116.
Yeah,
that was much better than a GT115 too, from what I recall. So,
isn't that the thing you write with the stylus? What do you call it?
Oh, the X-Pad?
X-Pad.
The X-Pad. The GT116. Okay.
I'm guessing a white color computer one with an MPI and a DMP 105.
Wow. Wow. We're out there.
That's pretty specific.
I'm going to guess one of the few remaining deluxe CoCos.
Oh.
Could be a box of cheese whiz.
A box of what, Rod?
Cheese whiz.
Cheese whiz. Yeah, that was Jim Brain's response in Discord earlier today, because I think Jason says, I got a video of something unboxing, and Jim's like, oh yeah, I've got some unboxing too. I've got a box of like shredded wheat that I'm going to open up today. All right. So,
Jason, you're in the US, are you?
Yes, I am.
So
I'm in
coming
Oregon.
from global, it must have come from overseas, right?
Yes.
Okay, so whether that gives any clues.
Okay,
I think it's a Japanese FMC.
Okay, final guessing is in now. So we have a Japanese computer, we've got a Coco 1, we've got a few CM8s. Any other final guesses? Go ahead, Mark.
Dragon.
Okay, Mark says a dragon. Okay. Anyone else before we go ahead and play the video and see? What if it's an MC10? Yeah, I was going to say Jim Gerrie's MC10 for the win. Okay. So this is the 8-minute video that's going to show off what's in the box. Reminds me of an old Andrew
There's a lot of
Dice
stuff
Clay.
in the box.
related.
Yeah. It reminds me of old Andrew Dice Clay. What's in the box? All right, so here we go. We're going to find out right now. So, uh-oh.
Yeah,
I see
there you go.
Frogger.
What I thought was the top of the box apparently wasn't. It was the side.
Is that a magazine?
It worked. So we have
Dragon User. Oh.
we have the September 1983 issue of Dragon User. The July 1983 issue of Dragon User. The November 1985 issue of Dragon User. The July 1984 issue of Dragon User. And the October 1983 issue of Dragon User.
Okay.
Let's see what's back here. We have
It's a Dragon User.
2
Oh, I've got some of those Dragon joysticks.
relatively nice, although one is missing the plastic off the end. Dragon joysticks.
Dragon sticks.
Digging ever deeper into this file, we have
A dragon power supply.
probably the
Or a dragon computer.
since I certainly don't have one. Dragon 32 AC adapter.
Okay.
240 volts, 50 or 60 hertz.
240 volts. Where are we going to get that many volts from?
Probably a little important.
It's not easy.
You have to plug it into.
Is it one of the rare
Yeah,
dragons?
you got to unplug your dryer or something for this thing.
Well, that would be two-phase, so that wouldn't work. It has to be single-phase 240.
So now
Is
you
it
get
one of
fancy.
the rare dragons?
Here is a UK style composite cable.
Okay.
And yes, I should have said RF.
And
Holy crap, what's down there?
A whole lot of cassette tapes.
Wow, lots of cassettes.
Yeah, so there's
Ken
35.
Kalish, Devil Assault. Oh man, look at that.
Monster Maths from Shards Software.
Monster Math. When one math doesn't do, you need more than one math.
With monsters.
Yes.
Whatever Dragon Selection 2 is.
So this is some kind of Christmas at your house, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
But it is Franklin's Tomb.
Wow. I love the artwork on these things.
Here we have Dragon Chess.
Dragon Chess.
Here we have examples from manual. And
Ugh.
Chris Morris. Okay. There's obviously more in the box, but we can't get to them right now. Because this is sitting on top of them. And I wonder, what could this be?
Holy crap, there's more software underneath it.
Yep.
Alright, so this is where we're going to see if this is the deluxe white Coco one with multi-pack and DMP 100 printer right now. So, so far I don't see a CM8 in there either. So,
Or a box of shredded wheat.
box of shredded wheat.
There isn't even an MC10. A lot of shredded plastic.
Ooh, Dragon 32. 32. Look at that. And this is not the obnoxious American dragon either.
Relatively nice looking Dragon 32.
Look at that.
Serial number 256788.
But has it been perforated?
It has not.
And the warranty seal is not even broken.
Nice.
Wow.
That's in really good condition.
Man, that's the old label.
It is.
That aside. AirPods.
Does it smell good?
AirPods.
It's got that new dragon smell. Look at all
I'm
those
pretty sure it must
cassettes.
be storage for 3 years.
You got a spit ton of cassettes in there.
Danger Ranger.
Ah, more Ken Kalish.
Ken did say he sold better in the UK than he did in the States.
All this for $10?
Now how much? There's the King.
Fearless Freddy. Android Attack.
Wow.
Escape.
Another Ken Kalish.
Morocco.
Grand
How
Prix.
So many cassettes in total did you get there, Jason?
35.
35. Cuthbert Goes Walkabout.
Cuthbert Goes
Holy
Walkabout.
cow.
So you might have the single largest collection of
King.
physical dragon
Barrels.
software in the United States, huh?
I might.
Frogger, the official Frogger.
I think Ron is jelly
Keys
now.
of the Wizard.
Keys of the Wizard.
Looks like
The Dark
Ron's
Pit.
budgeting for his next purchase.
Quest.
Quest. My God.
Pedro. The name of the
Pedro. Oh, yeah. The guy, that's not a stereotype there at all, right? A guy named Pedro who's a gardener.
Pettigrew's Diary. From Shards Software. Here we go. Downland.
Downland. Wow.
Planet
Invasion.
Barmy Burgers.
I've never heard of that one.
Speed Racer.
Speed
I wonder if
Racer.
that's a license. Probably not.
Pop Star Pilot.
Space Monopoly.
Space Monopoly, because the only thing that makes Monopoly better is space.
Big one does.
Space makes everything better.
This is Franklin's Tomb.
Franklin's
Salamander
Tomb.
Software.
That's a big box for that one, huh? Or is that a book? That's a box.
We've got-
Oh, cool.
It's like
They padded it
original
with
manual
cassettes.
and whatever the case file is.
Yeah, the cassettes was the packing, was like the packing
Pretty
peanuts.
much.
That thing comes with a little comic book there, yeah.
Manual, and then there's Franklin's Tomb on cassette.
Yeah, these cassettes will all shatter before your dragon suffers any damage.
A few more left. Transylvanian Tower.
Ah,
A
look at that.
spectacular 3D maze.
Now how much would you pay?
Yeah, right.
Personal Finance.
Gotta have that.
I wonder if that's just a clone of the.
He's gonna need that to figure out how much
Check
this
Personal
cost him.
Finance. And then there's Pencils.
And a bulky racer.
Dragon Trek.
That giant magnet.
Yeah, giant magnet.
Yeah, Magnet sold separately.
Micro deal. Dragon 32 Program Pack 5. Bag It
Bag It.
Bowling Conveyor Belt. Crown and Anchor. Destroy, Diffuse, Looney Lender, Sound Analyzer, and Stock Market.
I wonder if Sound Analyzer is anything like Audio Spectrum.
Sound Analyzer is just a copy of a certain Radio Shack program.
Yeah.
They aren't even pirate versions.
This came a long way from Vegas. Closer to Vegas than this was. And the Chip Shop. Basic Code 2 Plus.
Wow.
What the heck this is?
Yeah, there's no such thing as piracy. It's what you call the original source code.
And that'll be it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the computer was packed pretty well.
What a find there, huh?
It looks like they made it, so I'm not going to complain.
Nope.
Thank you very much for watching.
Very cool. And so now that this video has already been recorded and you've received all these, does everything check out okay?
Well, I haven't tried all the tapes, but yeah, the Dragon 32 works. This is it right here.
What did you have? What do you have to do to get the power going for that? Like an inverter?
Yeah, it's picked up a couple of these little guys. So yeah, they're kind of small, but they're enough to power it. So that outputs 240 volt single phase, 60 hertz AC, and then I'm piping that through another plug adapter into the original Dragon AC transformer, and that powers it up okay. And then for video output, I had to get a special DIN composite cable, which I then plugged in via another adapter to those SCART to HDMI boxes that we all use, and it manages to do PAL composite, and I got video output from it that way.
Wow.
Looks like crap, but it works.
Okay. And you didn't get SARS or anything else by this? No mail carrier diseases or plagues or anything like that. So
not so far.
It wasn't ticking when you got it or anything like that. So very cool, man. What a find! And so, did you order that from eBay UK? Did you go to the other site?
Yeah, that was from eBay.
Okay. Now, do you mind disclosing what that haul cost you, or do you want to keep that to yourself?
I think US it was 180.
That's not bad. What was the shipping like? The shipping was probably
that was with shipping. I was with shipping. With shipping.
That's a pretty sweet deal for all
yeah,
that.
even for $200 with shipping, that's a really good Dragon, the joysticks, and a ton of paraphernalia for it, huh?
Did you mention your address?
Ron's gonna come have lunch with you.
I'm the enforcer.
The enforcer, yeah.
He'll be coming with a U-Haul soon to have lunch.
Yeah. How you doing?
Oh man,
Hawk over here.
That is something else.
Box.
Did I? Okay, so we're gonna cancel that spotlight. That's cool. That's cool. All right. Well, we've been filibustering here for over half an hour. We got more people to talk to, more things to talk about. But why don't we take a quick break, and we'll come back. I'm gonna run a commercial break here. I got to see which commercial break I want to run. How about we run a commercial featuring Rick Adams and some retro swag? So we're going to do that. We're going to pause for a brief moment. Thank you, Jason Downs, for showing us that incredible box of Dragon gear. And we'll be back here in about a minute and a half. So smoke them if you got them, potty break, and we'll see you in a few.
Hey, have you got your CoCo 3 yet? Hi, this is Rick Adams, author of Temple of Ram and Shanghai, and you've tuned into CoCoTALK, the nation's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy color computer.
What's going on, everybody? Original Gamer Stevie Stroh here, and if you're a fan of vintage computing and retro gaming, then you're going to love our retro swag shop at 8bit256.com. There you will find custom designs by Instagram artist Joel M. Adams. You can get I'm a Coconut, CoCoTALK, and other cool video game images on a t-shirt, coffee mug, or mouse pad. So if you love retro, then head on over to the retro swag shop at 8bit256.com today. Tell them the Original Gamer Stevie Stroh sent you.
The Radio Shack TRS-80 put the world of color computing into your home. Instant loading program packs turn any color TV into an exciting game arcade. And there's more. The color computer is an educational aid, a home management tool, up-to-the-minute electronic information service. The programmable, expandable TRS-80 color computer from $399 only at Radio Shack, the biggest name in little computers.
We now return you to CoCoTALK.
All right, and we're back. And there's a few people watching us on Facebook, too. Brian Schubering is in there asking for the link. James Jones was saying there, yeah, and there's 2,000 baskets of boom goodies. And JD just joined us. Jay says, hey, hello from Northeast England. Love the show. Thank you, JD. Thanks for being here, guys. We are live on the internets. We have heard from some people that we don't hear from all the time. So we got to hear from David O'Connor. We got to hear from Jason Downs. Who else have we not heard from so far? Curtis Boyle, do you have anything new and exciting to tell us about your week and your world or anything else?
No, not this week.
All right. Well, that's good. Keep it short and sweet. Ron Delvaux, snacking on something over there. Anything new and exciting in your world, Ron? Besides being muted where we can't hear you?
I am working on the next rainbow. I'm assembling all the
yes, I do have. I did capture Mark D. Overholzer's update on that, which I was going to share in a little bit. So you're working on that. That's good. That's important work. The world needs that. Mark Bosley, anything new and exciting with you this week?
No, just repairing my dishwasher this week.
Oh, okay. It's not a CoCo project, but it could be. Yeah. Jim Gerrie, how many programs have you ported to the MC10 since we started the show? 10? 20?
Well, just about, yeah. Just about.
Just about. Okay. Just about. And Brian Schubering, the Music Man, what are you cooking down there in your laboratory? Anything good? Crystal meth? You're muted, Brian. I love it when people fumble around for the.
I had my mixer turned down, so my pulling through on the line. I got everything ran through my mix line. Just kind of tweaking the system a little bit. And I don't know if anybody ever saw how I got things set up in my basement here with all my music.
No. You able to pan things around? Uh-oh. A peek inside the musical basement of Brian Schubering, the Music Man. Okay. Heavy breathing is in effect.
Great.
Okay. What are we looking at back there? It looks like some type of mixer. Whole bunch of cables. Green light.
Yeah, that's CoCo back there.
CoCo.
I'm on a leash mixer and my synths right down here. And that, so
okay.
That's what I got going here.
Oh, by the way, Mark D. Overholzer says it's looking good. Wish I could join. Can anybody tell me if the audio is synchronized a little better this week? We had some really weird sync issues last week, which unfortunately are not really fixable. Hopefully the audio seems to come out and sound around the right time. Very good. Thanks for sharing that little peek there behind the curtain there, Brian the Music Man. James Diffendaffer, anything new and exciting with you this week in the past few weeks? Going once, going twice. Okay.
Nothing really.
Okay, very, very good. Richard Lorbieski, any new products that you're working on? Any sales of boomerang boards going well? Anything good like that to tell us about? Yeah, Thomas the choo-choo train. The train has fallen off the track there.
Oh, sorry.
It's a train wreck.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just got notified from Standards and Practices. Yeah, it reads that you have no standards and keep practicing, you'll get past level 1.
Wow. Okay.
Other than that, no, I don't have anything new except for, I'm working on a real-time clock, but we can talk about that next week.
Yes, okay. Well, apparently there needs to be a few of those in the market to now further,
Oh yeah, we're gonna probably have a clock wars. We're just waiting for Ed Snyder to come out.
There's going to be more clocks than sound chips at this point, right? So
yeah, we'll have more time. We'll have more real-time clocks than time zones.
I'm just waiting for one of you guys to go with the 25-hour clock. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yep.
Yeah, this one goes to 11.
Well, this one will calculate star dates. So there.
Oh, and John Strong, maker of many things, large and small. Anything new with you, sir? And you're muted, by the way. Now you're unmuted. Okay.
Yes, I just wait instead of background noises. Well, for Curtis Boyle, I did get some dual LEDs in to test, see if I can make a light in the joystick. Because the way it's wired, a standard LED wouldn't work, or you'd have to have two of them. And so I ordered some bicolor LEDs and resistors to go with it. Now I got to find a place to put it in the case and redesign the case to take it and see how I'm going to secure it.
Okay.
Okay. And the other thing is I've been toying with a design of a new CoCos STD case.
Oh.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm doing black and white anyway, but this is kind of the goal of to match some of the other design patterns that I've done with the MPIs and such.
Okay.
And so I've been working on that a little bit this week.
A little bit more stylistic now than just the rectangle. You got some
Yeah,
smooth lines and stuff there. It looks cool.
Yeah, well, that basically it was close to my first design. The other one was, and so basically good design, nice and functional. Not as fancy looking as it possibly could be.
Okay.
But now it's looking a little bit nicer. I'm liking the way the direction is going, and so in the process of doing that. And I've got some better software than what I had before, and I had done this actually a long time ago, and but every time I go to make a minor change on it, I basically have to redraw it because the software was kind of flaky. Now I've got some better software, so I'm revisiting that project. Analog joystick controller, the modules are ordered, at least a few of them. We'll see how long it takes them to get here from China, and I'll have enough to make at least a few.
Okay.
And so just other than that, we've been pretty busy. A lot of other things going on this week, so not a whole lot of CoCos stuff.
Okay.
And but a little bit, this is something I could do without pulling out the soldering iron and things like that. And of course, I was waiting for those LEDs. It's just arrived this week, so we'll see if we can get that light in it so you can tell. The explanation is because I'm switching the voltage direction back and forth and between off, I really need a way to indicate which direction it was. And by using the bicolor, you can see which way the buttons are aligned to, because each direction of the button will have its own color.
Okay. Neat.
Okay.
Cool.
Very, very cool.
He hasn't said he's been working on the real-time clock either.
Have you worked on a real-time clock at all this week, John Strong?
I mean, I got the module. I could drop it in the joystick, but
Yeah.
do you want the M&Ms with that too?
I mean, if you need more time, just add another clock to the project.
Which joystick it's coming in on every 30 seconds, something to really confuse players.
And Paul Thayer, you still with us, Paul? He's muted. See if we give him a minute to come in here. If you hear us, Paul, there we go. He's back.
Yeah, I can hear you. Hey.
Anything new and exciting with you?
No, not really. I'm just getting stuff ready for Coco Fest.
Yeah. We showed off, and maybe it was a week ago or two. We showed your little thing for your Faceless Warriors. That's looking really good. Shaping up nice.
I'm working on that pretty consistently. I had to come up with some different things to break basic to get it to work, and then Enrico Montiero, I think his last name is.
Okay.
Really cool backgrounds for the game. Pretty excited about
Neat.
it. Yeah. But yeah, just been working on that, getting that to work. It should be done here hopefully soon.
If you needed something broken, you could have called David Ladd.
Oh, I'm much happier breaking stuff
Yes, and by the way, yesterday was David Ladd's birthday, everybody. So maybe we should all get together and sing a happy birthday song to David Ladd.
You want us to sing?
Yeah, we're gonna sing happy birthday now because
Please don't.
because we're on Zoom chat and there's a delay and there's the internet. It's going to be a nice echoey train wreck of non-talented old white guys trying to sing happy birthday here. So I'll start it off
Isn't
here.
it a copyright violation?
You know what? Screw YouTube and screw copyrights. But yeah, I'm willing to burn in hell for David Ladd. So we're gonna kick this off on the count of 3, and we're gonna sing happy birthday to my
You wave the 20 cents.
yeah to my snuggle buddy David Ladd. So 3, 2, 1. Happy birthday to you. Cha cha cha. Happy birthday to you. What a train wreck. Happy birthday, David Ladd. Happy birthday to you. Wow. Okay. That
CoCoTALK style.
That's a perfect example of what. Wow. Now listen,
and that pretty well describes the sound chip
Now
market
that
on the
you've scared
CoCo
off
right
your
now.
3 viewers.
Yeah. that was being projected on the Game Master Cartridge, the PSG, and the Mega MPI all at the same time.
And approved by standards and practices.
Say it's your birthday. There you go. There, Brian Music. All right. There we go. So he just redeemed us there. Yeah, it's one thing to do a C load M. Nobody's going to complain about that noise. But the minute we all get together and sing, it's nails on a chalkboard. So
I think that it's filed under assault and battery or something.
Yes.
It's a hate crime.
It's a hate crime. Diego has just joined us. Go, Diego, go. How are you?
I don't know what did I just jumped into. I just.
Well, we got. You know what it is? It's, let's see. We have 4, 8, 12, 13. I make 14. So right now you are the 14th harmony. I believe now this is the perfect mix of voices. Let's try this again one more time. We're going to take it from the top. This time with feeling. Let's not say we didn't. All right.
The cats will start howling at us.
Yeah. Anyways, David Ladd, if you're out there, we love you and we wish you a happy birthday.
He's probably sleeping again.
Yeah. I tried calling him twice yesterday at different times, and he texted me this morning saying, "Oh, I'm sorry I missed your call. I was sleeping." I'm like, dude, I called you in the morning. I called you in the afternoon. What's going on, man? It's going to be rough to be living the life of David Ladd. All right. Well, Diego, we haven't heard from you. What's going on with you in your world and everything else?
Yeah, not much. I mean, just a lot of work, and I've been trying to bring back the Asimov Awards.
Yeah.
Some of you might have heard about that.
Yes.
I did them while I was in the States back in 2006.
Okay.
And I should do something more, but yeah, I haven't had the chance yet. The idea is mostly to have a coding contest.
Okay.
There was some talk about that. Somebody wanted a monthly one. Somebody wanted one just for basic programs or stuff like that. I think we can start with a yearly one with different categories.
Yeah.
So if you want to write a basic program, go ahead. If you want machine language, or if you want, hey, you can do it in C, or you can do it in Basic 09.
Or fourth.
And we can open as many categories as we may need.
And who's going to judge, and what's the prize?
I'm going to be one of the judges. I hope that somebody from Glenside is also going to join me being a judge.
Okay.
And
are you going to be there this year? Are you coming?
No, not this year. I hope next. I hope that for 2020.
Okay.
But not this year.
I know a really good pizza place that has no seating. If you'd like to go to that one, so.
So good. And, Diego, is the MC10 going to be allowed?
The MC, yeah, we had an MC10 last year. Ron Delvaux brought an MC10.
Yeah, we can do MC10.
Very good.
Yeah.
Nick Marotta says he's going to do one in logo.
Go for it.
Logo on the logo.
Yeah.
Oh man, I used to love logo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Those were the days.
Yeah.
And no, I was going to offer $100 so Glenside could buy some trophies and stuff like that.
Okay.
To give to whoever participates. And I was wondering if I could include also somehow the people from Brazil, because
Sure.
they do have a kind of large community there.
Yeah.
And I've been following their group in Facebook, and they've been talking about, nobody's doing any new software for the CoCo, any new games, and then all of a sudden they started figuring out everything that's going on, and they said, okay, yeah, a lot of things are going on.
That is, that information has not made its way to Brazil, apparently. So, yeah.
No, not that much.
Yeah. Cool. Very cool. Well, that would be interesting to see, and yeah, you never know. I know there's been lots of talks before about a programming challenge or or code off at CoCo Fest. There was somebody had suggested one year to do like a multiplayer color robot battle where people could all program their robots to fight each other. So there's been a lot of suggestions on things. Last year, we at least had a high score thing going where people could play games and try to get a high score and write your score.
Yeah.
Especially when you use a Sharpie on a dry erase board, that score stays up there forever. So we were capturing some high scores last year. So yeah, it's good to get some type of activity where people are involved. So I like that idea.
There's a 10-liner contest going on right now, but I didn't notice any CoCo entries yet.
Davey Mitchell's been doing a lot of stuff like that, hasn't he? Or is it Davey Mitchell or Davey Jones? I think it was Davey Mitchell, right? Yeah, I like seeing that kind of stuff.
Right, yeah. I did not want to do something that could be so limiting as having
just
10 line or whatever. But if we get enough entries and enough people participating, then we could have different categories. We could have one for basic programs up to 10 lines and whatever.
Who the hell's got a cat?
That's my cat. Sorry, he's coming. He's here.
Sounds like
he wants my attention.
Sounds like it's that time of month.
Yeah, right.
Either that or the cat just heard her singing from earlier. That's
Yes, I think you're coming a bit late in the party, but
yeah, well, you definitely fit right in if you've got an animal to have with you on the show. So that's good. That's good. Excellent. Well, we're very happy to have you here, Diego. Diego's in the future. So for me, it's 9 p.m. right now. What is it for you? 11 o'clock?
Yep.
Yeah, so Nick Marentes is way in the future. You're on Sunday afternoon right now, right, Nick?
Yeah, it's 12. Well, it's noon.
Noon
on Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got the lower results and everything. So
yes, very good. Well, we have a significant amount of news articles to cover. Many of which will be featuring more music, especially music on the Game Master Cartridge. Been a few things about that floating around this week. Other things to talk about, the Rainbow Magazine to talk about, and so much more. So maybe before we get into our news segment, I'll run another commercial break here so we can potty. That way Ron Delvaux doesn't have to ask if we can go to the bathroom. We can just go. So let's see here. We ran the Retro Swag commercial. How about, I can't get enough of the CoCo Do. However, is Bruce still with us, or did we lose Bruce? We lost Bruce. So, but I want to play a Forest of Doom commercial, which features Bruce more on it. So here's a little bit of Forest of Doom. So smoke him if you got him. Go potty, and we'll be back in just a minute.
Hey, this is Bruce Moore, author of Forest of Doom, and you're watching the Original Gamer Stevie Stroh.
Only the bravest souls enter. Only the most cunning return. Defeat innumerable monsters to ransom the king's scepter, stolen by the evil wizard. Your sword, shield, and wits are your only allies. Pray you find a magical inn as your only respite in the forest of doom.
For the tiny color computer 1, 2, and 3.
November 2017, if you dare.
It's a Radio Shack Merry Christmas.
Oh, I remember that Christmas. Dad gave me my first shortwave radio from Radio Shack. What memories. This Christmas, we got our son's Color Computer 3 from Radio Shack. It hooks right up to our TV and was on sale for less than $130. The Color Computer 3 makes learning fun. Jimmy even lets me use it for word process when he isn't playing computer games. Lucky I still got my shortwave.
Save $70 on the sale-priced Color Computer 3, only at Radio Shack.
We now return you to CoCoTALK.
All right, we're back, and we still got our shortwave, so that's a good thing. So we're here. Welcome back, everybody. So I think what we're gonna do. Oh, don't ask me how to pronounce do. How do we pronounce do in CoCoTALK? I don't know how to pronounce it. Anybody can help me, educate me in the proper pronunciation of do? Jim Gerrie? Where's Jim Gerrie? Jim, how do we say cook? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just trying to like mimic what they say on this commercial. I'm just trying to say it how it sounds with them. But what do I know? I know nothing, and that is the path to enlightenment. All right, so we're going to queue up some news here, boys and girls. I got to find it, and it seems like this has just been this really weird thing. But whenever I go to do my news segment area, which I can't even find, I got so much crap on my thing here, it doesn't show up. You see how this is not showing up right now? And like every single time I go to do that, I've got to like fix it. So let me see if I can fix it here real quick, because this is a professional show. Here, now we can see it. Now we are ready for news. So let's cue some music by lovely Curtis Boyle here. Let's hit button 4 here. Woo! Yeah! All right. So we got news, boys and girls. We got news for days. So, and I'm just gonna just go through this stuff here as I found them. But Sheldon MacDonald, speaking of music, I promised you music. We've got more music on the show. So Sheldon says that I got my MIDI to Game Master Cart running. And in the background, too, I got 2 videos. Although I don't know if the links are correct. I found one of the videos, and I just got it past the part where he was typing in all these peeks, pokes, and execs. And I'm going to hit play where we can actually start to hear some music. But this is Coco 3 MIDI player part 2, playing on the Game Master Cartridge. So give this a listen here, boys and girls. And it's running in the background. He can type in list. And he's got a program running now that's counting on the screen. What do you guys think of that? We got background music. He's running a program. He's listing a program. He's poking while the music's playing. Is this possible? Is this legal? Have we broken laws? Have we broken laws here? That's kind of cool. It's still going. It's still going. It's like the Energizer Bunny. It's still going. So that's kind of cool when you think about it, that whatever he did, I don't know what he did, if it's sorcery or black magic or something, but he got music to play in the background while he could still list his program and run his program. No idea how that's possible.
Sounds like maybe a buffering sort of thing, where there's a buffer memory in the Game Master Cartridge.
It's an interrupt-driven player.
Interrupt-driven player. Okay. because it takes very little CPU time for the sound generation, right? So we can just.
Yeah, I'm
trigger
guessing
that.
using the 60 hertz.
Yeah, I think he was at the one I was helping out. He was asking on Facebook for help with finding a bug.
Okay. So I just thought that was kind of neat. And then this is a great little production here too. Myro. Has anybody listened to the Coco Crew podcast yet? I know it just dropped, but I got a chance to catch up on it. A lot of great Myro bits in there. I tell you what, I want to give Myro a big round of applause right now. Where's my applause button? But 2 months in a row, he's had these Schoolhouse Rock things that are this blew my mind. So last month he had one about strings. You guys all remember Schoolhouse Rock, right? So he had a Schoolhouse Rock one last month talking about strings and how string can be a numeric or text string. This month he had one about counting in hexadecimal. He had a Schoolhouse Rock thing about counting in hexadecimal. And I'm like, how could you do it? Well, Myro found a way, and it's just pure Myro gold. So really cool stuff. Actually, I'm going to send feedback to the Coco Crew, and I need to ask them to put in the show notes when there is a commercial break, because I want to be able to fast forward and go back to those parts too. I want to be able to hear the Myro parts. So they need to now kind of timestamp the breaks too, because sometimes I will fast forward past some segments of news if it's something I'm already familiar with and move on. But I don't want to miss Myro stuff. So I'm going to ask them in my feedback to definitely show note every little Myro break in the show, because I believe that's important. Not only that, I believe they should have a best of Myro episode where they just play all of his bits. You know, I could listen to 4 hours of Myro content, honestly. It's quality entertainment. So round of applause there. And speaking of Myro, as I'm singing his praise, he put together a commercial for the latest Farfall Master Edition.
New from Retro Tinker, Farfall Master Edition. A ROM pack game for your Tandy Color Computer 1, 2, and Dragon. Leap from platform to platform to stay alive. Stay on too long and you're crushed. Miss the platform and plummet to your demise. Farfall Master Edition features multi-channel audio generated right from the cartridge using Retro Tinker Game Master Cartridge technology.
Ooh, technology.
The platforms change color and get faster on each level. Easy to learn, difficult to master. Stunning SG-12 color graphics. Farfall Master Edition features digitized voice.
High score.
Enter your initials for the high score, just like real arcade machines.
High score. Did that sound like anybody you recognize, that voice?
Real arcade action from Retro Tinker.
So when's it going to get ported to the MC10?
Jim Gerrie has made a Farfall for MC10, haven't you, Jim?
I have, yeah. It's a 10-liner, I think.
Wow. So that's kind of cool.
Not quite as advanced.
It doesn't have sound technology built into it. So JD, was Jay with us in the live chat too? I don't remember. But JD, somewhat new to Facebook, was asking any UK Coco users familiar with Input Magazine, where you could had a lot of type-in basic programs. So anybody here on the panel or watching live remember this? This looks kind of interesting. Anyone? Going once?
I read a lot of them when they were. There's a lot of them in Portuguese that were on the net for a very long time. I was reading those 5 years ago, but
wow,
yeah.
Interesting.
I didn't realize there was British ones.
Yeah, and I think that question came up. I think it was Paul Thayer too. Paul was gonna possibly have a thing where you could, for the new Rainbow that we're working on. When I say we, not me, but that other people are working on. But how about we submit a little program to type in? And I think that's great, because that was in the original Rainbow. And even if nobody wants to type it, I believe there's a place for that, and it should be there. There should be a little type-in program in any future, Rainbow Coco production. My opinion, anyways. So now this looks kind of cool. Input is specially designed for the Sinclair ZX Spectrum 16, 48K, 128K, Commodore 64 and 128, Acorn Electronics BBC B and B Plus, and Dragon 32 and 64. In addition, many of the programs and could be suitable for Sinclair, Commodore VIC-20, Tandy Color Computer 32K, and Extended Color Basic. So there is a chance that that will happen. Yeah, Neil, we just got done playing the Farfall Master Edition. I'm not sure if you were here before, Neil Blanchard, but we actually literally just played that. So yeah, so very cool. So yeah, I like that, and I wonder if these things are archived anywhere, because I wouldn't mind seeing some of these programs. I think that looks kind of cool.
Compute Gazette is archived. That was a similar one.
Yeah.
Yeah, computer. Remember, I don't remember input.
Now Brian,
they've got them all. They've got all the Portuguese ones, but they don't have the English ones.
Now the actual programming itself, the BASIC is BASIC. That's the interesting thing about BASIC. BASIC is technically still an English language, right? The commands like print, go to.
Yeah, but the variables and the comments and stuff, whatever they're printing might not be in English.
Yeah, like the text language, the text is being printed on the screen.
Like the direction. You want to read the direction?
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Input doesn't have a lot of full programs, though. They're mostly just like demonstrations and exercises and examples for like learning. So
okay.
It's not really like
full programs.
No.
Oh, you
but
know
it's
what?
good if you want to learn, because it's got lots of.
Yeah, I'm not seeing you guys. You guys aren't showing up in the news right now, but that's okay. I know that's important. All right, so Brian Weasler, who I thought was going to be here, Brian Weasler had more stuff to show off, so that was going to be another box of goodies to show off, but he's not here. But Brian Weasler gave his 2 cents on eBay shopping, and I don't want to just reread what was already there. I thought it would have been better to hear it in his own words if he was here. And Brian also mentioned he was going to have a box of goodies to show off, but he's not here, so we'll skip that for the next time Brian's on the show. Paul Shoemaker, I thought this was interesting. So I guess Paul Shoemaker must have sold a CoCo on eBay, and he says he thinks it may have made its way onto that TV show called The Goldbergs, which takes place in the 80s. So that might be kind of interesting to see a CoCo on TV. I know there's, what is it, from the Young Sheldon series where they take place in Radio Shack. I don't know if anybody's seen any Tandy CoCos on that show. I haven't watched it. That spin-off to The Big Bang Theory.
Tandy 1000.
Okay, Tandy 1000. So that might be neat if we see the CoCo on a modern it would have, the perfect place to have seen it would have been like in Stranger Things when they had the whole little Radio Shack in there. That would have been kind of cool. So we'll have to wait and see if that actually shows up, and maybe somebody can screen capture that thing from the Goldberg. So that might be kind of cool to see. This one I really got a kick out of. So the CoCo Mafioso, right? So Nick's neighbor Chad posted this stuff here. So he's kind of memed some of us here. So he's got Ed Snyder as the brains, and he's got me as the kingpin. I don't even know where the hell that picture came from. Oh, JD's in the chat. He is here. Hey, Jay. Then we have Nick Marentes, the architect. And you notice how Nick's picture looks the same in every place he goes? So he's always standing in front of those freaking mountains there. So
Best they can do upside down.
Yeah. Then we got John Linville, the master, and Simon Jonason, the madman, and Ron Delvaux. Now, Ron, I've got a follow-up to this one that looks better because Ron did it with him pointing down the barrel of a gun. So Ron Delvaux, the enforcer. Paulie T, Paul Thayer the Slayer. That rhymes. I like that, right? With a big-ass beer in his hand there. Bruce Moore, the Doomsman. That's cool. And then we got the brains. That's nice. So I just thought that was really funny, and I think some comments have... is that Dennis?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. He looks, and then Neil Blanchard... Neil Blanchard, cheap Canadian labor. And then here's one of Nick's other neighbors here. So this is Brian Palmer. It looks like he got the crap beat out of him there. He definitely looks like an enforcer right there. Right here he is.
I think he round up on a dark alley or something.
Yeah,
like
Brian the Bruiser. So very cool stuff, and I think there's a few more that made their way down the pike. So I thought that was really funny. Another one I forgot to bookmark it, but somehow the conversation, I got known as the saint of the CoCo or something like that, and then Antonio Jimenez made a picture of me with a beard holding the CoCo, and it was just really disturbing to see that picture. It was it was really, like my eyes are like burned from looking at it.
Did you see Richard's comment about your picture?
I don't remember.
No, just in the chat here.
Oh, no. What did he say? Where?
And Strobe, the village idiot.
Curtis Boyle, the Kaiser Soze.
Yes. So here, somebody found this one here. Rob Ivy posted this on Facebook. He found an actual Tandy leather place that's still open. Huh? That was the parent company that ended up buying Radio Shack, right? So I remember these as a kid. I remember buying some kits where like a knife holder. I actually got a leather knife sheath thing that I put together for my dad as a gift one time, where you got the little hammer and you engrave stuff into the leather and you stain the leather and you had the string where you stitch it all together. I remember making a Tandy leather kit at one point in time, and that they ended up buying Radio Shack. It's hard to imagine. So there's still one out there, and this is in Texas, I think he said, right in Fort Worth. Yay! So cool stuff.
I think we still have one here in Saskatoon too, if I remember correctly. I haven't been to it in years, but I think it's still here.
Very cool stuff, right? So
are they the same guys that are selling all the CoCo stuff on eBay? There's a Tandy leather factory user
on eBay, or on there was an auction when the Tandy Corporation liquidated all the leftover assets.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's on eBay itself. There's a user called Tandy Leather Factory, and there's quite often got CoCos.
Oh, really? Oh, there's an eBay seller called Tandy Leather. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know the relationship there. I don't know if they just stole the name or if they're actually. Now, interesting enough too. Now, so Tandy Corporation that sells computers is still a live company in the UK, and that's Darren Grant. So Tandy Computers or Tandy Technology, whatever it's called, that company still exists. The Radio Shack stores, they're kind of out of business for the fourth time. But Tandy Tech, I'll call it, Tandy Corporation, that's still a current company in the UK, and Darren Grant started that. So, yeah, that's kind of cool. I thought that was neat to see that. Dang it.
There still is a Radio Shack, 'cause I bought this shirt from Radio Shack.
Yeah, Radio Shack online now. Yeah. But so Radio Shack had a brief life in Hobby Lobby, and then I just saw Jason, the CoCo Man, posting that Hobby Town or Hobby Light, they're going out of business now. So it's just like, I don't know, it's the kiss of death, right?
No, I think it's just that store only.
Oh, just because it's in Jason's neighborhood? I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they had standards.
They had standards. Now, this one here, okay, Chris Collings or Coolings, he says, just a quick note to say thank you for accepting me. I've been a member for about a month, and this is my first post. It's not a CoCo, but it's got a Dragon 64 that was built by Base Galapos. I don't know what that means, though, when it was built by him. Does anybody know what that means? Is this the person that is he mentioning the actual designer of this computer? Or
maybe
what?
He upgraded it.
Or is this a lower profile CoCo? I'm not sure. Or Dragon, I can't tell. So I'm not sure what he means by that. That it was.
I think that's the guy that owns Gamma Computing, and he might have like rebuilt it or.
Okay. So it was built by. Okay. Yeah, because it looks like a slender. It looks slender.
They transferred production to Spain at the end of it, so maybe it's one of the last ones.
Yeah, the Dragon 200 was a lower profile case, but I'm not sure that's what that was.
It said Dragon 64 on the thing, but it was real. It looks real slim, right?
It doesn't look as wide, does it?
Yeah.
No, it's a Dragon 64. It's just yeah, it has vents on the top, so it's not a Dragon
okay,
200.
that might just be what it looks like. Here's another one here too. Yeah. Yeah, it looks good though. It almost looks like a Commodore 64 with these color patterns here, right? So, so that's cool. So welcome to the group. This one I thought was kind of cool. So for those of you, most of you are probably familiar with Evan Wright, right? And Evan is he teaches computer science and video game stuff to high school students. He mentioned he brought a CoCo 2 to school. By coincidence, one of my students was working on Dungeons and Dragons, so I showed him Paul Shoemaker's Dungeon Crawl. He really liked it, so I let him play for the whole period. How cool of a teacher is that? Oh, you like this game? Here to spend your entire class playing this game. But I mean, it's a class about computer science, so that's kind of cool, right? And he mentioned, so Evan Wright has this tool where you can write your own adventure game, and then it will outport it to run on different retro systems, the CoCo being one of them. So he mentions that he's got that running on the 64 column mode on the CoCo VGA on his adventure game. So that looks kind of cool. And this is a class that I would have liked to have been in back in the 80s. And this is definitely a class I'd like to be in today, where your teacher brings you a CoCo with a CoCo VGA and lets you work on your own adventure games and stuff like that. That's pretty cool, right? That's a school I'd like to go to. So
yeah, I have to agree.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
So thank you for stimulating young minds on old technology there, Evan Wright. You're fighting a good fight there. So that's very, very cool. Here's the picture. Here's the better picture of Ron Delvaux, the enforcer. Go ahead, make my day.
I love the smiley in the end of the barrel.
Yeah.
I have to explain. I had to do that because my wife wasn't really happy with it. Well, how about I do this then? And she goes,
Your wife wasn't happy with you pointing a gun. Well, that's a decent woman. Right. So that's very cool. So good job there, Ron Delvaux. Always on point here with his graphics arts. That's definitely a good one to fit in with the CoCo Mafioso there. So that's really cool. David O'Connor was here, so we got that one. David joined us. He said he's looking forward to joining the show. He's got his CoCos. He's got his CoCo SDC. So there we go. We got that. This was the unboxing videos that I downloaded, so we got those. Retro Challenge is a go, and it might be over. I'm not sure. The last day of February. If you haven't already done so, take a look at Retro Challenge. Stay tuned from John Linville. Okay.
It's in March.
Is it in March? Okay, so the challenge starts in March?
I think so.
Okay.
That starts beginning and ends at end of March.
Okay. All right. So go to let's take a look at the site here. Retro Challenge entrant list. So listed below is competitors joining us on the March event. Yeah, 2019-03. So we have Mateo is here. Mark D. Overholzer is here. Jeff Pipemeyer. I plan to build a second prototype of an Atari 8-bit cartridge interface adapter. Very cool. Mackay. The first Retro Challenge, I would like to make an information or demo for the Home Computer Museum in Netherlands. Okay, that's cool. Dustin Johnson, Compact's first computer, the Compaq Portable 1. Well, I'm turning it into a supercomputer utilizing the stock hardware as the terminal. Interesting. Release a new programming language for the Apple II GS called MUMPS, character-based interpreter including tutorial documentation and YouTube training videos. Launching a retro software company I always wanted as a kid. Interesting. A lot of stuff going on here. A simple Pong-style game for which system? It was written in BASIC. Man, there's just a bunch of stuff going on here. So there's a lot of people who are planning on doing stuff here for Retro Challenge. So let me put that link in. Man, there's just tons of stuff here. I don't even feel like reading anymore because I'm getting a headache having to use my brain this much. But cool stuff. Lots of stuff for Retro Challenge.
Bottom.
What's that?
I'm at the bottom.
Oh, are you at the bottom? Well, we got to get to Jim Gerrie. Let's get to Jim Gerrie. Jim Gerrie. So my usual, working on porting some programs to the MC10, type-ins mostly. Cheese, Mushroom Invasions, and Convoy. I will try to blog about them and some of my other recent... Yeah, type-ins. Somebody's got to type them in, right? All right. So let me put that link to Retro Challenge in the live chat. So if somebody wants to pull up that one, we'll do that. The last thing that I had on my news, although I missed one, is that the CoCo crew has dropped this month. So make sure you check out the CoCo Crew at cococrew.org. And episode 45 is the latest one. And this is what I love. I love being able to go to the show notes, and then I can see where I need to fast forward to sometimes. Like, for example, I knew that, talking about the AGD stuff, I already knew about that stuff, so I could kind of fast forward past some of the things. So I like that I can fast forward through stuff because their show notes let me know about that. But one of the things I am going to ask them to do is to put in the show notes whenever there's a break, because I never want to miss a Myro moment. I always want to make sure I know where the Myro stuff is, because if I fast forwarded through all these AGD stuff and I missed a Myro commercial, I would never forgive myself. So a lot of stuff going on there. They got into some discussions of the new light gun thing and this wireless converter for the Sega Genesis controller that could plug into the CoCo converter, all kinds of stuff. Dungeon Crawl, they talked about. Host discussion, is eBay too low class for serious connectors? Hey, Paul Shoemaker's here. I love the interview. Did anybody listen to the interview with Bill Bernico?
Yeah.
Great interview. I started listening to the tech segment, but you know me, I have a really hard time listening to technical stuff, so I couldn't finish listening to that just because my head exploded. So I did listen to the Farfall edition, and we have played the Myro commercial for that, so that sounds good. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on an updated copy of Farfall. So make sure you check out the CoCo Crew podcast each and every month at cococrew.org. That is the stuff that I had to cover. Did I miss anything? Is there something you guys feel that we need to share that the world needs to know about?
There was a little bit about Ed Snyder's Mega Mini MPIs and the sound chip in his tracker that he's developing for it.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that was spoken about in the last episode. I haven't listened to that yet. But
I think we've showed it once or twice. But matter of fact, here's a comment from Ed that just showed up in Facebook. Matter of fact, this comment is on your video or in your post about the joining CoCoTALK today.
Okay.
You're talking about how you couldn't get him to turn on and you had to replace the VDG or something like that. Okay. So yeah, I think we have shown that in the past. Oh, now here's Jason Down's video. So our world premiere has been leaked now, so everybody can see Jason's videos. Here's Jason Down sharing our show. I'm actually watching the show. Here's something interesting here, guys. Here's a little Inception moment here for you. So right now, live on CoCoTALK, you can watch CoCoTALK live on CoCoTALK live as we're live right now. So this is this is the show that Jason shared on the Facebook page. So there we go. Here's Jim Gerrie's 10-line programming on. What is this? The program that you had on your screen there too, Jim?
Probably not.
I thought I could.
This
yeah,
is a tech adventure.
It's what now? Because that looks very similar to what's on the Facebook page right now. But no. What is that picture behind you there?
This is a text adventure.
A text adventure. Okay.
Yeah. Vespasian affair. It's pretty big.
Okay. Well, it looks cool. It definitely looks cool. Okay.
It's a lost program. I think people will be interested in it if they're into text adventures.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Well, all right. So I can't find anything recent from Ed Snyder, and I'm not going to scroll through 400 posts on Facebook, but I know we have covered some of that stuff recently. We even showed the Jim Brain chip, Jim Brain's chip working on that thing. So I can't find that right now. But what else do we need to talk about? What else do you guys want to talk about right now? I just covered a few things I remembered to bookmark this week. Anybody else think of something that happened this week we should be discussing?
The reason
you kind of already covered the AGD 22 pack. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, David.
Yeah, I was just going to say one of the reasons I brought up Ed Snyder's mini MPIs is I actually have two of them in the mail on the way to my place right now.
Ah, you've ordered not one but two.
Yeah, I've got the two CoCos here, so they each have to have a mega MPI. It's part of the project to interface all this synthesizer equipment with the CoCo. So I'm planning on actually using some of the features that Ed is developing for his tracker, and use that as a master player to actually control the synthesizers. So I'm looking at using the sound chip, the Yamaha sound chip, on the Mega MPI and make another interface for that as well. So I'll be beta testing some of the functions that Ed is developing in his tracker. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, just something to fit in with the whole music theme of the program. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. And that chip sounds, not only does that chip sound really good, I'm going to keep saying it. I think that chip sounds too good for the CoCo, but it's a good sounding chip.
It is in the CoCo Air, though. It was out when the CoCo 3 came out. So
yeah. Okay. Fair enough. And it's a damn good sounding chip, and that would be really cool to get some performance stuff going off on that.
Well, that chip itself, the FM chip that Yamaha FM chip, is based on the same technology as the Yamaha DX7, which was introduced in 1983.
Okay.
I've actually still got. I don't know whether I can switch over my camera here, but let me just see if I can change this.
Plus, I think the original Sound Blaster used a similar chip, didn't it?
Yes, similar, yeah.
And that came out in 85 or 86, I think so.
Let's see if this works. Yeah, okay, there we go. And then over there, that's the keyboard on the top is a Roland Juno 6, which started off my journey. The one in the middle is Yamaha SY77, which was basically a whole bunch of DX7s on steroids with a sampler built in. And the third one down, which is above the piano, that is a DX7, the original Mark I DX7 there.
Okay.
So the original the sound chip in the Mega MPI is based on that technology, basically.
Oh wow, neat. Yeah, no, it's a damn good sounding chip. I can't take that off.
Yeah, I mean the DX7 was all over the music of the 80s. It was any top 40 hit that you hear on the radio from about 1983 or 1984 onwards has probably got a DX7 on it somewhere. Danger Zone, and that's the bass line on that, and Tina Turner, that harmonica sound that she did. And, what was the song that was done on a DX7? But yeah, that synthesizer literally took over the world and was one of the most popular synthesizers in its day.
Wow. Very, very cool. Screenshot of Bill Noble's Van Halen's Jump was on that too?
Not on the DX7. That was on an Oberheim OBXA, which was an analog synthesizer, which was just preceded the DX7 by about 2 or 3 years.
Oh wow! Looks like we this just in. Sorry about that. My producers have handed me something. It looks like hot off the press here. Bill Noble, has been working on something here. Hey all, I've been busy with a new bootloader file editor for the ease of use project. Here's a screenshot of the latest. Left pane is the current boot list. For edit, the right is base hardware selection, and the bottom right is description of selected modules in the left pane. This has a ways to go, but the database is fully laid out by module type and hardware group. Okay, so for somebody who understands what Bill just said, can you translate that to English for us?
Well, basically, the edit boot files right now, you have to use text editors, and there's a couple different ones. Some have different advantages, etc. But this one actually is a mouse click GUI thing where you just click, I've got a 609.
Oh,
okay.
So what we're looking at here is an ease of use tool for ease of use.
Yes, it'll let you make custom boot files if you want to add DriveWire, if you want to add a IDE interface or sound card or whatever else in the future. It's just click and select what you want.
Oh, I get it. Wow. So Bill Noble is freaking brilliant, man.
Hey, I have a question about
it has
that.
A selection for a real-time clock too. So.
Yeah, Richard.
Anyway, question about it. Does it calculate the amount of memory it takes for the boot?
I don't know if it does now. He's kind of in the early stages of it right now. He was getting the database laid out and how that was going to work, and having dependencies so that if you pick a certain type of a driver, you need this type of a file manager. This descriptor needs this type of a driver, so you don't accidentally, like a lot of people do, they mix like a Birkenberg hard drive descriptor with a disto SCSI hard drive driver. So it's to make it ease of use and also to make it a bit more foolproof and catch a lot of errors. That's not a bad idea to add that though. I know the quick gen one does tell you you have an option of seeing how big your boot file currently is. And that's the one we included on the EOU. So, but that's all text driven. This is all clickable GUI stuff with a mouse. Even Stevie could use it.
Yeah.
Is it running under multi-view?
Yeah. Well, it's running under CoWin, the window driver that Multiview uses, but it doesn't require Multiview, the program.
Oh, good.
So this is an actual OS 9 utility as well. So you would run this program in OS 9 to configure how OS 9 is going to boot.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of a catch-22 though, because if you can't boot, you can't get to this program to change how you're going to boot.
Well, or with floppies, you can just you keep your normal boot separate, and then you just create a new disk and you just put it on there, a new disk, and away you go.
Yeah,
a lot of us had alternate beats back in the day because some games required certain things that would break some other games, and I mean we're trying to fix all that now too. But
yeah,
no,
that's cool.
Yeah. Also, the other question is when it creates the boot file, does it create a disk image or does it write to an already existing one?
I believe at this point it's going to be created or going to an already existing one. But I mean, you can create one under OS 9 itself too, so it's pretty easy to do that. I'm pretty sure you could add that in.
Okay. Well, no, just for example, if you had like an SDC, like a VHD file, or you wanted to create one, I was just wondering if you had to create it yourself first and then go in with this, put the modules in and write to it, or it'll create it itself.
I believe in its current state, you have to pre-create the image, the blank image, and then put it onto that disk.
Okay.
But we couldn't add in the option to format a floppy or make a CoCo SDC image file because you can do that within OS 9 too. So
okay,
those are actually really good questions,
said,
Richard.
It's work in progress. So sorry, go ahead.
I do have my moments.
Yeah, Richard asked some really, really good questions. So they were serious questions too. For a minute, I'm just waiting for the punchline for a while there, but no, these were all really good questions. Yeah, kudos.
Apparently the train's
that's cool.
slightly back on the track. So
yeah. No, that's cool. It took me a minute to figure out what's going on here, but I get it. Because the whole idea of ease of use is to get away from having to bang away on the keyboard and the command line and the editor. So we're making it a little bit higher level, a little bit more GUIfied. So now we've got a GUI bootloader configurable thing for the ease of use project.
Yeah, and you see those little arrows on the right, on the top right pane, and that's actually drop down arrows. So you just click on that, you can select which CPU and which floppy controller you have and all that kind of stuff. So.
Yep. Now I missed the thing. I had it queued up. I must have closed it, but here it is. Let me just switch back to this because Mark Overholzer is in the live chat. I had this in a tab and somehow I must have accidentally closed it. Let me switch back to news real quick. So here's Mark D. Overholzer's update on the Rainbow magazine, which I'm having a hard time reading at this level here. Let me see if I can maybe zoom in on this a little bit. Does this work? Are we zooming? All right. Holy crap, did we zoom too much now at this point? 300% is maybe too much zooming. Here we go. So, by Mark D. Overholzer himself. Mark says, status update on the new Rainbow magazine. By the end of January, we had most of the articles submitted that were committed to by the faithful CoCo and Dragon users. I have asked Ron Delvaux, who made last year's mock-up, to start the layout. I am hoping we can reach a quarterly publishing target with actual paper copies available at a reasonable price. He's basically saying he's done a lot of technical writing, but editing is new to him, and just reminding us that him and Ron are regular mere civilian mortals with day jobs. But we are trying to bring back the nostalgia, saying it is going to happen. So if you have a burning desire to write something about the CoCo, the Dragon, and even the MC10, Jim Gerrie, please get a hold of Ron or myself. We have 3 more issues targeted for this year. James Ross even chimed in with an idea. A few of the same advertisements that we found in the Rainbow back in the day, but update them. Are not really for sale. And I think that Ron Delvaux had actually done that. He showed off some retro ads in his first mock-up. But yeah, it would be kind of interesting to do either some reimagining of that or something like that. So yeah, so there's a little update from from Mark D. Overholzer, our kind of project manager of the new Rainbow magazine. Although I don't know what the release schedule is. Do you know, Ron?
No, there's not one yet. As I start assembling this thing, and he's doing Mark's doing a lot of reading and collimating things and putting it all together and stuff. And then I put it all together in a program, and we're going to go back and forth, weeding out things. And we got a little surprise for when it comes out. I think you guys will really enjoy it.
Okay. And then again, real quick, here's your inception moment. We are live on CoCoTALK, and as we're live on CoCoTALK, we're watching CoCoTALK live as it appears on Facebook right now. There are 10 people watching us on Facebook, as well as 21 people watching us on YouTube, for a grand total of 31 live viewers right now, if my math is correct. So here's a little live preview of CoCoTALK Live as it's streaming live to you on the internet. So a new feature on the show. It's a show within a show.
Baseball's already had that.
All we need to do now is put. All we need to do now is put a camera on a shot of the screen to get the visual feedback thing going on.
Yeah, right. So, so that would be kind of neat. Oh, wow, cool. Remember sitting for hours typing in code. Yeah. Okay. So who is this now on YouTube? It is Truth Forever. Old Coco user here. Never knew you guys around. When I came into this room, I thought I heard talk of the Rainbow Mag. Is it still in print? Okay. So now we're getting caught. No, the actual Rainbow Mag. When did the Rainbow magazine stop publication? Anyone? Trivia question.
93.
93. Yeah. So this is a homebrew project where we're trying to bring the rainbow back. And so a lot of people are getting together to work on that, to make our own just community collaborative thing, right? So, and it's actually happening, where it was kind of talked about once. Everybody got excited. Ron Delvaux did some fake covers of magazines, just kind of, here's some art designs. And then Ron Delvaux threw together a 20 or 30 page mock-up magazine that he did all by himself. A lot of people got excited. And then it just kind of, I don't know what happened, but now Mark D. Overholzer, who's not with us live today, basically says, all right, I'm gonna rally the troops and get people to commit and be accountable. And so a number of people have all submitted something, and we'll see what that something is. Yeah. So, yep, I've seen you guys on Roku for my TV just now and jumped on here to do more checking. This is great. Oh, that's great. Truth Forever one. David Lord says it's still in print, but the pages are getting really yellowed.
Get some Retro Bright.
Get some Retro Bright, your magazine. Oh, man. So, yeah, it's happening. So it's not an official Rainbow. Fallsoft is Lonnie Falk is no longer with us, and Fallsoft is no longer publishing, but it is a community kind of homebrew project, Make-A-Wish Foundation type thing. Cool. Well, that was a lot of news. Other than how many game packs have released this week now too? We're in like 22 AGD game packs now. Yep. So lots of game packs coming out. Lots of releases from Jim Gerrie coming out. Music's happening. A lot of things happening on the Game Master Cartridge right now. That's kind of exciting. Lots of sound happening. David O'Connor will be somehow interfacing the new Mega MPI chip to real keyboards and tracking and playing music. That'll be kind of cool. So would the game plan be you could play something live on the real keyboard and just capture it into the CoCo and just generate CoCo ready music with your 10 fingers?
It's more a programming thing. Each of the modules in that synthesizer could be patched to do different things. The big box sitting on the top is an analog sequencer, which basically steps through notes in sequence. You might have. I was talking earlier on about Tangerine Dream.
Yeah.
A lot of their sort of mid '70s to early '80s music had a pulsing sequence running underneath it, with multiple layers of other sequences, and they would use analog step sequences and modules like this to create those sounds. So that's a lot of what I do is what they call Berlin School style of music, or Krautrock, the German nickname for it. So my aim is to use the Tandy computer to control step sequencing and to control the speed of the steps and whether you want them to triple or double and create polyrhythms and things like that. So it's more it's a tool that runs in real time live, but you can interact with it to control how the sequences basically control the rest of the synthesizer. So it's basically an improvisation tool or a recording studio tool where you can work on a track live and have the computer interacting with the synthesizer to produce certain effects.
Very
so
cool.
It's not so much a recording thing. It's where you're recording on the CoCo. It's the CoCo is actually controlling the synthesizer, and then you record that on the studio recording system.
Okay. So the CoCo is going to be kind of like a conduit, if you will, into all that back end sound machine stuff.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. That's still a pretty cool application. That's taking it well beyond a single sound chip on the CoCo, and you're now interfacing with a room full of, sound technology.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, Tangerine Dream, if I'm not mistaken, didn't they do the soundtrack for Risky Business, one of Tom Cruise's first movies?
Yep, they did. Yeah. One of the most well-known tracks off that thing is "Love on a Real Train."
Yeah.
That scene with the train scene, the music in that was Tangerine Dream.
And I know they didn't do Blade Runner. Somebody else did Blade Runner, but I love some of that analog synth sound from the original Blade Runner too. Do you remember who the composers were for that?
Yeah, that's Vangelis. I'm using the CS80, Yamaha CS80.
I mean that to me the texture of that synth sound. I love synth sounds. Like, I'm not a real musician, but I love electronic music. My introduction to electronic music was actually on the CoCo, listening to things like the William Tell Overture and the Bach Fugue D minor and all these things. I got turned on to electronic sounding music on the CoCo, and I've been a fan of it. I grew up listening to, my dad also had the vinyl LPs of what at the time was Walter Carlos did, like Bach on the Moog. Moog, actually, it's pronounced right. Moog. We say Moog here, but it's actually Moog. Yeah. But so I've listened to some Moog stuff that Walter Carlos had done on the Bach stuff. The Disney Main Street Electrical Parade is another great one. Some of those classic sounds, Now, when Walter Carlos became Wendy Carlos and did the soundtrack to Tron, another incredible electronic. So I've been a fan of this kind of crunchy, layered, synthy, scratchy, grady sounds. I love them. And that's why I love what a lot of stuff that Simon Jonasson does. He does a lot of stuff with square waves and gets this really nice, crunchy sound out of the CoCo. So
but I've heard some of his stuff. It's really cool. Very cool what he's done.
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what you're going to do. Yeah.
It'll all be available on my website, on synthtweaks.com. Another one that Wendy Carlos did too was a very famous soundtrack. Was the soundtrack to A Clockwork Orange.
Oh wow! As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever seen that movie. Apocalypse, huh? Clockwork Orange. I'm thinking of Apocalypse Now. Yeah. Clockwork Orange. Okay, I've seen Clockwork Orange, but the music's not sticking out in my head right now. So interesting. I'll have to check that out. I'll have to listen to that again now just for the soundtrack.
Yeah, it's very. The soundtrack is just as out there as the movie. Really.
Yeah.
It's really it's the, as we know, the movie is very, very what's the word for it? Esoteric's not the word I'm looking for. Out there, there's another word that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, well, you're not thinking of it's not the dystopian type thing or whatever, is it? No, I don't even know what you explain. No. Yeah, but I know what you're talking about.
The music fits it perfectly. It's that very same.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of remakes, but as you're mentioning A Clockwork Orange, do you think that's something that could be remade, and could we do it justice in this day and age? Are we too politically correct and snowflakey? Are we too much of a snowflake society to handle a movie like that now?
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's really there's a real divide between the people I think today. You've got the social justice warriors on one side, and you've got those who say, on the complete opposite side, there's a lot of almost like a left and right wing divide, the socialists and we're getting into politics now, but it seems to be that whenever anybody brings out something controversial like that, back then you could get away with it, but if you try and do something like that now, you're likely to upset 50% of the population.
There are so many movies that were made before we became politically correct that, think of like Blazing Saddles, Mel Brooks, Blazing Saddles. We could not make that movie today.
Yeah.
Oh man, hey, Bryza's here too. Bryza snuck in on us. Hey, how you doing there, Bryza? We got 3 Aussies on the show. So are Australians outnumbering our Canadians right now? We might be. We got 2 Canadians and 3 Aussies. All right, so that's good.
Bruce D. Moore when you need him.
Where's Bruce Moore? We got to bounce
Bruce
things
was here
out.
earlier, but he took off and went to chat.
That's why.
Yeah. So so just listen, David. I cannot wait to hear what you're going to do with that. How you're going to make this CoCo Mega MPI kind of track all this 80s analog layered synth sounds. That's going to be heaven to hear, man.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's been a passion of mine for decades now. So to be able to come back to square one, right back to the CoCo, and then to use modern technology with the CoCo to control both vintage and modern synthesizers. It's just like the best of all worlds.
Yeah. Hey, Steve Bjork just joined us in the live chat. Yeah, and Steve Bjork mentions that the Main Street Electrical Parade track was used to demo Audio Spectrum Analyzer to get Tandy to buy it. Speaking of that, so Steve has joined us here, and there's our Audio Spectrum Analyzer in the background. So that is so cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I love we'll call it the 80s synth sound. I know it's even like the Moody Blues, they had some pretty cool stuff too with some synth sounds. It's
absolutely.
Just you hear those sounds and they just bring you back. Yeah.
The other big name in the late 70s, early 80s too was obviously Kraftwerk. With Autobahn, songs like that. Autobahn was their big breakthrough track. But that's the same technology with all the analog step sequences and analog synthesizers.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna say you're not a Justin Bieber fan, David.
Put it this way: if somebody tells me that Justin Bieber is going to be performing in this cafe, I'll say, "Well, that's a good reason to go to a different cafe."
I am completely shocked that he has not mentioned Air Supply yet.
Were they were Australian?
They were Australian.
Kraftwerk. Somebody did a Kraftwerk sound. We Are the Robots using an MC10, and there's a video on the net somewhere.
Oh wow!
Oh, I didn't realize he used an MC10. That's cool.
Yeah, it just beeps and blurps. It does We Are the Robots.
Mm.
Wow!
I think that's Kraftwerk.
All right,
That wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
What have we not talked about now, guys? Have we missed anything?
Oh, I just got another notification since the start of the show. 2 more people have announced circuits for real-time clocks.
Oh, excellent. The real-time clock, Mike. If anybody was wanting to know what the next big thing to get in on and invest on, the next big tech stock, real-time clocks are going to be the future of commodities.
Yeah, I'm releasing a joystick, and it's got a real-time clock and sound chip.
Sound chip, real-time clock.
I'm going to do one better. I'm going to open up a real-time clock superstore.
If all these, what's going to have to happen here is that as these real-time clocks make their way into the consumers, we're going to need repair shops all around the nation to help keep them wound up. So,
absolutely.
Call Richard if you need to set the alarm on it. That's what you're
While we're talking about real-time clocks, I've got something to show you here. This module here, up the back of that is a real-time clock. It's an analog real-time clock. It's actually telling them the actual time. That's what it is in Adelaide, South Australia at the moment. So hopefully my microphone picked all that up. I was a little away from it. It's on the computer. But
that's an analog real-time clock, yeah.
Yep. I've got a thing for clocks as well. I love clocks. I was adopted actually at 7 weeks of age, and met my birth mother when I turned 18, and then met my birth father when I turned 25.
Wow.
And it turns out my birth father has a real fascination with clocks and watches. And so, it's interesting seeing the whole genetic link there, and genetic makeup. It really has an influence.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
That's cool.
So, are you saying your birth father would volunteer to help write drivers for all these new clock chips?
He's a guitar technician, so we could teach him.
Do you do any coding, David? Do you write software, or are you more of a hardware guy?
Bit of both. Yeah, my intro to the TRS-80, I was more into coding than I was into games. I was into some games, but yeah, coding is something I've always loved. So that's something I'm probably going to start off writing some of this interface software in BASIC, and maybe do some assembly subroutines for the faster stuff that needs to be done, and just call that from BASIC. So.
So Rob Inman in the live chat wants to know, can we get that analog real-time clock to connect to the CoCo SDC? So maybe somehow through the Mini MPI, you might be able to find a way to make that happen, huh?
I could probably put it.
Speaking of real-time clocks, that was one of the things we used to do at Radio Shack. Some of the stores, we would, they had those clock displays in the back case, behind the counter, not behind the counter, but behind the register and everything. Okay. We would set those, we would actually set those at different times and take off.
Oh man.
My
parents told us like maybe just a couple of years ago, my parents just let us in on a joke of theirs they've had that says, when you guys were kids, we set the clocks ahead like really far so you would go to bed. And back in the days when you actually had to turn the little hands around the dial and stuff, they're like, yeah, we would just set the clocks ahead and tell you, hey guys, it's time to go to bed.
So when you talk to your psychiatrist, well, we had time skips. We had time skips when we were kids.
Oh my god!
Stevie, did you get them back by doing the old top the vodka up with water every time you snuck?
Yeah, right. So,
the things you learn.
Yeah, so this week's real-time clock segment on CoCoTALK, as we continue our continuing coverage on real-time clocks, all real-time, all the time, on CoCoTALK. So John Linville showed off a real-time clock on the Game Master Cartridge. Jim Gerrie's got a real-time clock going on. I'm not sure who else is. Did I say Jim Gerrie? Did I say Jim Gerrie?
Yes.
It was Jim Brain. Well, Jim Gerrie's got so much stuff going on. Who knows? He might have a real-time clock going on there. So, Ron Delvaux's got a cover of a Rainbow magazine on his computer over there.
Yep, there it is.
Now, is that your mock-up, or is this the actual current issue?
No, that's the mock-up one.
That's the mock-up one from last year?
Yeah.
Mock-up.
Yeah, we're going to keep everything in wraps till it's time to...
Oh, yeah. Top secret. Yeah, I haven't seen it. Nobody's seen it. So,
Not even a tease, eh?
Bryza, we showed the picture of you earlier, the bruiser, where you had your broken nose. So, as we were going through the CoCo Mafia. So, was that...
You know how I got that? I walked into an electrical meter box when I was talking on the phone.
No. On your cell phone?
I was talking to the fiance at the time, and all of a sudden it just went blank. I'm sitting there on the ground, crouched over, still on the phone, talking away, but it's all black. And I'm going, I think I just walked into a meter box.
Oh, my God.
That's pissing out everywhere.
You're going to be on Facebook.
It would have been so much of a...
No, there were these 4 guys that jumped me.
Yeah, they were all Commodore users. There was a Commodore user, an Apple user, an Atari guy, and a Spectrum.
You gotta tell your stories better.
Yeah, and a Spectrum nerd. And they said the CoCo sucked, and so I kicked all their asses.
And they tied a printer ribbon around my neck.
Tried to string me up with a printer ribbon.
Oh, I barely got out with my life.
You should see them.
Yeah. They look like Vegemite.
They don't realize you represent the most powerful computer in the world. And it'll
Yeah,
blow your
right.
head clean off.
And speaking of boxes of goodies, which is one of the subtitles of our show today, Brian Weasler has finally joined us. Hey, Brian, how are you?
Hey, how's it going? Sorry, I'm late.
Did you not wind your real-time clock? Is that why you're late?
Yes, I was daylight savings time early. No.
So you mentioned you have a plethora of goodies. You also, I didn't go over it, but you had posted something in Facebook this week about your kind of 2 cents on eBay stuff, and which was also kind of a brief host discussion on the Coco Crew. You know, eBay, take it or leave it. I honestly, I don't think any of us would be in the hobby without eBay. So I think it's a necessary evil.
I agree.
It's been good to me. I have got very few. I've never sold anything on eBay, so I don't know from a seller's perspective getting screwed on fees. Or I've also heard the side of that where eBay favors the buyer. So if a buyer wants to cry wah, you might get screwed out of a sale. So that side of it maybe is not cool because I haven't really sold on eBay, but I've bought a lot of crap on eBay and I'm grateful for it all. So
yeah, I mean, you said you have to kind of watch what you're looking for and stuff like that. I mean, but obviously, if someone doesn't want to budge on the price, then they're either going to sell it or not. So some are more willing to work. I mean, I think if you're just nice and send a nice message and maybe explain why or whatever, I've had good response with people, or at least been able to negotiate. So
yeah. I think I posted earlier this week too, because I started my Monday with somebody who was listing a Coco 1 for $500. Buy it now.
Yeah,
and that was like how my Monday morning I get on my computer. I'm like, what? A $500 Coco? I got to share this. This is funny, right? But I actually wrote that person, and I was very nice. I wasn't rude. I was just very nice and very succinct. And they wrote me back saying, thank you. I'm going to adjust the starting price and adjust the buy it now price. So they've then bumped it down to $50 for starting and $200 buy it now. So I thought that was kind of cool. A little exchange of information that was peaceful.
I think some people, they don't know what they have, and so the price is really low, which
it's
from
a
our point of view,
classic computer. It's worth $1,000.
Yeah, it's rare. It's rare.
But then you get the
jobs
that have done the research on eBay, and they see what things have been selling for, and so then they try to either one up that price a little bit and think, well, if they're going for this much, maybe I can get this much. So
Well, listen, I'm gonna just throw this out there as a public service because I was really tempted to buy it now, but there's a Coco 3 with 512K that you can buy now on eBay for $200, and with Tandy RAM in it, and I'm just to the point now where I'm like, dude, I've got 2 Coco 3s that both work. I have my real one and I have my backup one. If I buy a third Coco 3, I'm being greedy. You know what I mean? So it's like I was tempted to buy it, but I'm like, I don't need it. And I'm lucky that I actually have a little bit of money, which I haven't been able to say in almost a year. But right now I've got a little bit of money. I could have bought it, but I didn't. So if anybody's looking for a Coco 3 for $200 with 512K of RAM, buy it now. Matter of fact, Neil Blanchard's here. He says regarding selling on eBay, never ship to a he mentioned that on the show, on the host discussion. Never ship to a non-registered eBay account because you got no recourse there. But yeah, no. Listen, and speaking of Neil Blanchard, the first Coco 3 I bought from Neil Blanchard. I won his auction. I remember him talking about it on the Coco Crew podcast. I bid on it. Once I found out that I won, I asked him if I could get an autograph, and he autographed a silver Tandy floppy sleeve for me. And so he wrote a few little nice things to me. So I've got my first ever Coco 3 since I got back in the hobby was from Neil Blanchard. And it's a Canadian Coco. It's 512K disto board, 86 gimme and a Neil Blanchard autograph. So that's a gem and a jewel in my collection. So you're basically saying what the price does not necessarily have to be the price, right?
No. I mean, just people are sometimes willing to work with you. Some are they stay firm, and but I mean, you just have to work with them, and the main thing I found for myself is just realize what do you want to pay for something and just stick to it, and because it is, like we've joked around before on the show, about the fact it's so tempted to get caught into the eBay, black hole there and keep bidding up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you just have to walk into it knowing what you want to pay for something, and if it goes beyond it, the thing about it is there's if you just wait a few weeks, something else will pop in there, so.
Yeah, with the exception of Coco 3s, but Coco 2s are not rare at all.
No.
Coco 2s are all over the place. But that's kind of how I feel, too, like when I've been to a few of the auctions. There's things I want in the auction, but there's a maximum amount that I'm willing to spend on certain things. So I just say in my head, this is what I will pay for that thing. And once the bidding gets higher than that, then I've just lost, because I am not going to outbid just to win it. Because if you win a $200 item for $500, did you really win? The person who sold it was the winner in this case here. So
Exactly.
I don't know. I'll ask Alan Huffman about that.
So you got a box of goodies to show us, right?
Yeah, the person had a price out there, and they had the make me an offer thing, and if the opportunity is there, I'm going to throw a price out there, and if it's low and they accept it, well, then, they're happy because they're obviously accepting the price. So, they're happy to get the money that they got. And sometimes you come out top. In this case here, I felt like I got a really good deal on it here. It ended up being a whole box of games and a few accessories.
Cool.
I'll start with this here. This is actually for a Model 100 though, but it's
neat. It's in the blister pack.
Yep, it's in the blister pack here, and it's the portable computing with the Model 100. It's just I think a little educational thing there. So
okay, just real quick, Jim Gerrie, have you ported anything to the Model 100?
Yes, actually.
Why are we not surprised by that?
Do you know who Fletcher is?
Yeah. Is that one autographed? Is that autographed by Fletcher by any chance, Brian?
No, this one was not.
Okay, so okay.
You'll go far.
Also in the box was the cassette version of good old Color Math.
Color Math, because math is always better in color. That black and white math sucks.
Exactly.
Yes, but is it Monster Math?
Oh yeah, Jason Dowd's got Monster Math for the Dragon.
There you go. And then I had quite a few ROM cartridges in here. Got a blister pack of
Arkanoid, Steve Bjork.
So that was a good one there. Also got in here Predator.
Nice. One of the worst games ever. Here's David Ladd's take on that game. Really?
And then got a Castle of Gather.
Oh, Castle of Thorogad.
Yes.
The shitty version of Daggerath, right? So,
and then,
I'm sorry, I got a little edgy there. Sorry.
No problem. We also got here
Pitfall too. Super Pitfall, yes.
Yes.
There's Steve Bjork one.
Another Steve Bjork one.
What collection would not be complete without Color File?
Color File 2, because when you couldn't file enough, Color File 2 to the rescue.
Exactly. And then the box is a little rough though, but
Downland, nice.
Yeah, the box a little rough on this one though, but everything's there. So
that's got to be the patch one, the 1.1 version that runs on the Coco 3.
Okay. Yep.
I'd have to see the label.
Then we also have here Mickey's Space Adventure.
Ah, nice. Yeah, those were good. Sierra Online made a number of those educational titles.
And
good artifacting.
These are all sealed too, never been.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Then also, of course, you got to have Winnie the Pooh, right?
Winnie the Pooh, yes.
Yes.
Virgin Software.
Yes. Another blister pack one. Here is got here your
microscopic mission. Nice.
Yes, got that one.
Nice.
Let's see here.
That's a great Zumwalt one, if I remember.
Rob Inman says, Color File 2, file harder.
Got your Interbank
Incident. Nice. Sealed. This is pristine stuff.
Sound pack too, which is cool.
Yeah. Yep. Pristine software.
Also in the blister pack here.
Rescue on Fractalus. Hey, Curtis Boyle will optimize that for you. No extra charge. So,
There you go. Then so I got a few more here. Got another sealed pack here of Shanghai.
Shanghai. Get Rick Adams to sign that. You coming to Coco Fest?
Yes, I am.
When you get Rick Adams to sign it, he's going to say,
Thank you. Yes, you're too kind. And thank you.
Also a sealed pack here of Rogue.
Rogue. God, dude, this is a freaking collection, dude.
Yeah.
It's not Rogue You.
Rogue You.
And also got,
that's Rouge.
Rouge. French version, right? We also got Dexter.
Dexter, nice. Sealed?
This one is not sealed, no.
Oh. Is that for the Coco or for the Tandy 1000?
Let's see here. This one is for the Coco.
Okay, so that's the cartridge Coco. Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Is it Chexter or Thexter?
Thexter. Then also, this one's been open though, but the King's Quest.
Oh, the King's Quest 3.
Yep.
That one came right after King's Quest 2.
Did it? And then also in the pack 2 was a
Stereo Orchestra 90.
Also in the pack there. And then one of the things that was really kind of nice.
If you pull out a real-time clock, I'm going to soil my pants.
No.
Okay. All right. So
also had a it's not
color, a 2-button deluxe color mouse. Oh,
yep,
dude.
But it is brand new though. It's never even been out of the pack.
Wow, look at that.
With your
still got that,
yellow, so.
still got that new mouse smell.
Yep. And don't forget your little handy dandy moisture pack.
Yeah, there you go. This is not
You got all
candy,
this
by the
for
way.
$50, you said?
$50 I paid for all this. Yeah.
Wow.
You made out like a bandit.
Yes, it was a good one there. He had it posted for 100. I threw out 50, and he approved in like 2 minutes after I posted it.
Wow, I got to start watching eBay again.
But yeah, they're out there, and you just gotta. I think like a lot of us, we have everybody sets up alerts and things like that.
Yep.
But but the alerts can be kind of delayed and everything. So usually,
Yeah, I have alerts, and then I usually also hit watch too. Like I'll watch something, and usually by the time I check my phone again, the item that you're bidding on ends in 2 minutes. I'm like, thank you 9 hours later for letting me know. Right. So it's like I usually kind of miss the train a lot of times on that.
So yeah, I kind of a little more.
Paid for hardware since 1983.
Yeah.
I can't get anybody to take my Monopoly money.
So yeah, I was happy to get that one. It was a nice little pack there to get. So had some things that I didn't have already. So it was nice.
Yeah, no, that's a great find. I'm kind of quite jealous from all that stuff. But
it's 2 really good box sets that we've seen.
Yeah,
on the show
yeah.
today.
So
They're
that was
really
that. I knew we had some unboxing to cover, which is why I made that part of the title. Boxes of goodies, or boxies. I actually spelled it as boxies. I just realized I made a typo. I made a fox po in my typing here. Boxies of goodies, but we'll leave it there. My mistake is your amusement. So cool. Thanks for sharing, Brian.
Yeah,
so I don't know if you saw before, but Jason Downs got a Dragon from the UK with 35 cassettes of Dragon software and a bunch of Dragon magazines, a couple of Dragon joysticks, and that was $180 with shipping from the UK.
Ah, nice.
A UK Dragon 32.
Very good.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to fire mine up yet that I showed last week there, that 64 that I got, but still want to get it hooked up though. I'm in looking for the monitor that you kind of suggested there, the Dell. I'm gonna seek out or see if that works well.
Yeah, I've had that on my watch list forever, that 2007 FP. And so I finally got one that just kind of came through with shipping that was in the price I was willing to pay. I was not going to pay more than $100 with shipping for that monitor because I didn't need it,
Yeah, there's I did a quick eBay search here recently, and yeah, there's some guys out there that have them for $150.
Right, and then they sometimes they want $50 to ship them.
Exactly, that's way too much money.
Yep.
Hey, I want to hear from Gerrie, however you say his name. Jim, yeah. Well, what kind of setup do you have for your MC10 and how you do you have a couple of MC10s? Do you have the 128K pack with it? Do you do a lot of your stuff on the Coco 3? I mean, have you done many programs in the 3? Tell us a little bit about you.
No, I have a real MC10 right there, and I have an MCX MC10.
Yeah.
In my office upstairs, and I do all my programming though on WordPad and Windows.
Oh.
And then
an ASCII type thing and
quick type.
Yeah, then I quick type it into the VMC10 emulator. Yeah, and then I always test it eventually on this, but I don't start on this because this doesn't have an edit command like you guys have it.
So let me ask you, how is your keyboard held up after programming all this time?
Well, like I say, I don't really program on this anymore. I just kind of do a little bit of testing on it when I'm finished a program, just to see that it runs on the real thing.
But have you had it for years?
Yeah, this is my original one from 1983.
Oh, okay.
And
so it still works.
Yeah, I have another one upstairs I got at a flea market, and it's zero key kind of sticks a bit, but if I used it, it's good. The keys are quite.
Another thing I noticed is the cases on them don't seem to yellow too much, do they?
No, they don't seem to put whatever they put into the plastic that makes the CoCo yellow, and
that's because they usually most of them never see the light of day. That's why. So.
Well, they're like moving down in the basement. Basically, some kind of a zombie, I guess. But no, I think it's they just had some kind of chemical difference, and they don't yellow. I don't know what it is.
Probably manufactured in a different plant.
Yeah. Well, when I wrote that program a few years back for the what was it? You're chasing around trying to retrobrite MC10s and the yellow filters and whatever. In honor of a great programmer who should not be known.
Yeah. Almost sounds like I've got a hardware problem, right? So
was that your first computer?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
It was my first one too.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to know there's somebody else out there.
Yeah. I've got two MC10s in the box. And I got them because I figured, listen, it's a relative of the CoCo. It's in the family. Both of mine, I think I got maybe with shipping for about $40. And so I figured that you can't say no to a MC10 with all the books and manuals and cords with the box for like $40. That's a fair price, So I've got two of them in the box, and they're just sitting on a shelf.
Now.
Yeah. I also purchased the MCX 128. I bought one from Ed Snyder. I think I got it in the mail. I bought a case from John Strong at a CoCo Fest a year or two ago, and I haven't opened up either one of those. So the board is still sealed in its plastic bag, and so is the plastic case is still shrink wrapped. But I figured I've got that MCX 128. One of these days I'll crack it open and plug it in and have no idea what the hell to do with it. But I've got an MC10.
It's kind of like putting a Porsche engine in a Volkswagen Beetle.
But I really would like to run some of your software on the real hardware. You've got so much software out there. I mean, yeah, we can do it in an emulator, but to me, to fully experience an MC10, you really got to do it on the hardware. So it's on my list of things to do one day, is just to have a Jim Gerrie day and play one of your 10,000 programs on my real MC10, so.
Hey, Jim, have you heard of anyone repacking?
Ron, MC10? I think. What's that?
Have you heard of anyone repacking an MC10 in a PC case?
No, but I know a guy who disassembled an MC10 and used the keyboard to run a Raspberry Pi. So he basically executed
there was
on
someone,
the internet.
There was someone that used the old chiclet keyboard off of his color computer as a keyboard for an MC10. He had a ribbon cable running into the MC10.
That was me.
That was you?
Yeah. It's an old picture, yeah. I did that.
It's kind of like
it was
like
an upgrade.
Yeah, does it work? Did it work?
Well, it worked, yeah.
Yeah, you got to rewire the matrix, but yeah, there's no reason why it wouldn't work.
I got a real-time clock for it.
You'll have to desolder the ROM first.
Yeah.
Well, Jim, you need to participate in the new Rainbow magazine with maybe some kind of something. Maybe you can send us a little blurb or something.
Well, take my 10-liner and put it in as one of those, like they used to have the 3-liner little boxes in the ends. I mean, in the Rainbow.
Is it on your? Where can I find it?
I've got two 10-liners in the contest, and then on my blog right now.
Why don't you sign up on the new Rainbow group, and we'll let you in, and you can give us links to them.
You see him on Facebook. Are you in the MC10 group, Ron? You can reach him on Facebook through the MC10 group. Just shoot him a message, and you can get a hold of him. Jim Gerrie's pretty easy to reach. And despite his celebrity, he still talks to us normal civilians. So, cool. Jason, the Coco Man Reichert, has joined us. How are you, Jason? Hello, hello.
Hello. Good evening, everybody.
Hey. So it sounds like you're in the car.
I am in the car. I'm on my way back from a hockey game.
Were you with Ken Reichert? He mentioned he was at a hockey game, too.
No, if he was at a hockey game, we were at two entirely different hockey games.
Oh, wow. Okay, now did a fight break out at both?
There were several.
Yes, the old saying, I went to a fight once and a hockey game broke out, right? So, we have another...
Well, both you and your brother went to hockey games today. We might have to make you honorary Canadians or something.
Yeah. Well, actually, I went to last weekend. I went to the Florida Panthers game where we played against the Montreal, whatever the hell they're called.
Canadians.
This is hardcore. This is minor league hockey.
Oh, minor league hockey. Woohoo! So they still have all their teeth. They haven't been playing long enough.
Wow. Hey, Jim, are you going to Coco Fest?
Not unless I win the lottery or something like that.
You live far away?
Let's do a GoFundMe. We already got one for Simon. Let's do a GoFundMe to get Jim Gerrie to Coco Fest. I think enough people would chip in for that.
Oh, yeah. Simon Jonathan?
Yeah, the Madman's going to be here this year.
So, yeah, you'll get a big surprise.
I think we can chip in and get you a Greyhound ticket.
You meet the nicest people in a Greyhound.
He lives in the UK. That ought to work. Now, where do you live, Jim?
He's on a Canadian island somewhere.
Cape Breton Island. The Atlantic.
It's the city of Atlantis, right? Under the ocean somewhere? Did we just lose Jim? I think we lost Jim. We lost Jim Gerrie. Yeah, he's in Canada. Oh no, he's back. He's back. I don't know if Ron heard your response. What's the name of your town, Jim?
Sydney is the name of the town.
You're in Canada, right?
Sydney, Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
There you go.
The other Sydney.
The other Sydney, right? The one that's on the top side of the world.
Do they speak French a lot there? Or?
Yeah, we have Acadians here. Yeah.
So a lot of Coco
French school.
Do they have Coco Do commercials? All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a Coco Do commercial here, and you need to translate this for us when we come back from that. All right, Jim, can you do that for us? I got to find it.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're going to play a Coco Do commercial. When we come back, Jim Gerrie's going to tell us what the hell they just said. So hold on. We'll be back after these words.
Hi there, this is Mark Overholzer, and you're watching CoCoTALK, the world's leading weekly talk show where you can join in. Hey, come watch us and see what's happening in the world of Coco.
CoCoTALK is brought to you in part by Placeblex Dietary Supplement. Placeblex. We think it works, so will you.
What's going on, everybody? Stevie Stroh, and I want to say thank you for continuing to watch and listen to CoCoTALK. We love doing this show. We think we've put together a pretty good show for you, but this show could be better. with your help. So if you would like to send a feedback, a comment, a suggestion, a show topic, or maybe even your own little segment or bumper, then send it to us via email to CoCoTalk@CoCoTalk.live. This show would be nothing without you. Love to hear from you.
CoCos, c'est le coq champion, des micros et dans le pion. Pour le jeu, il est pas batable, les études, c'est pas disable. L'expansion, il envoie ça, les commandes, tu envoies ça. Notre Coco est programmable, pour tes cours, c'est bien serviable. Coco 2 de Radio Shack, ton affaire est dans le sac.
Un ordinateur couleur qui a de la personnalité. Le Coco 2 de Radio Shack. On solde pour Noël à partir de 149,95.
Coco 2 de Radio Shack, ton affaire est dans le sac. C'est toi et Coco 2.
That girl was really liking to hug that TV, wasn't she? She was a little too hug happy on that TV screen. I'm concerned.
All right, Jim's going to tell us now, and it's going to be all MC10 related, right?
What? You don't really want me to translate that commercial, do you? I couldn't understand a word of it.
Le Coco Do. I heard that part. I heard Le Coco Do de Radio Shack.
You can get all this crazy stuff from us, right?
Nick Marotta promised to.
Now, how much would you pay?
Yeah,
I'm now starting to feel snooty.
Yeah, well, they did show a clip of Les Megabug too. That's the French version of Megabug. It's Les Megabug. So, Mark B. What's Mark B? Go ahead, Jason.
I think you're speaking in the Pepe Le Pew cartoon French.
Oui, oui.
Come here, my beautiful.
Yeah.
Hey, meow.
They should. All that disto stuff was from Quebec, I think. So
yeah,
that gave quite a bit.
Yeah, Montreal of Tony DiStefano.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
There
Italian.
was quite a Coco market in Quebec.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Ken Reichert says it's
Tony
Laybug Mega. Is how that be pronounced. Laybug Mega, actually. Yeah. All right, so have we beat this one to death? What have we not talked about? Is there anything else we need to talk about tonight?
Well, we have those pictures of those things there.
Pictures
Those
of
things?
things. What are you talking about, Rondell?
Well, we have baby dolls on there.
Oh, yeah, what are those baby dolls? What's going on here? Mark Bosley.
Well, you're talking about hockey.
Oh, hockey.
Are these guys supposed to be famous?
Well, they played on the Oklahoma City Blazers back when we had a hockey team.
Ah.
Some of these guys may actually still be in the NHL.
How accurate are they? They all have teeth.
I don't know. So I don't know if any of these guys really. There's Andy Frank. Who's this guy? Tyler Fleck. Who's falling apart.
He just dropped his thing.
Brendan Morrow. Joe Burden.
That guy there's got a long face.
And this guy was the mascot of the Blazers.
Uh-huh. What
And a
city was that
commemorative
in?
puck.
What city?
Oklahoma City.
Okay. Now, is that major league or minor league?
Minor. I'm not sure how far down.
Okay.
But the company I work for actually sponsored him for a while.
Hmm. Interesting.
I still got a whole pallet of these things.
Did they ever win a cup or whatever?
They came down here to heal and rehabilitate.
Okay. That's cool.
Still have them.
Very, very cool. All right, so what have we not talked about tonight? We are just shy of 2.5 hours, so this is an average length show. We haven't run out of show here, have we?
Yeah, I did send you one link in the chat there, Steve, if you want to check out. It just got released.
Henry Reitveld playing Terry Steen's balloon attack on the CoCo touchpad, koala pad. Uh-oh, let's take a look at this.
Yeah, you don't see that used to opening arcade games, so it's kind of interesting.
Okay, let me switch over to my screens. All right. Henry Reitveld, also known as Reitveld, or Sent from My Phone. So on the SD. Oh, look, he's using the koala pad to control the Coco SDC menu.
Yeah, I haven't seen that before either.
Balloon fire. So is it just touching left and right and that starts the moving of the directions?
I'm not sure.
It works just like a joystick.
Yeah.
You touch top and it's like moving the joystick up.
But I'm just wondering, is he touching, if he just touches far right, does it track you all the way to the right, or does he have to hold it down to the right to move right or left? Huh.
Yeah, you have to hold it.
Yeah. I gotta try this. I gotta try using I've got a koala pad.
Yeah. I've never actually thought to try it this way, and actually, it looks like he said, comment there. It looks like it works pretty well.
I'm going to give it a shot with the koala pad too.
Yeah. Because I'm not going to draw anything with the damn thing. I might as well find some practical use for it, you know. That's pretty damn good.
He's not mentioning he's got any calluses or.
Yeah, right. He's not getting the thumb blister.
Yeah.
So it's just like using a mouse or something.
Yeah, in a way. But I believe this was self-centering, though, wasn't it? The koala pad?
Yeah, I think if you let go, it centers, doesn't it? Like, you don't touch it.
And that's pretty cool.
High score.
Right Veld. Doing it up.
Is anyone playing that game developments, those ports from...
Yeah, we went through a few a week or two ago. We looked at a bunch of them. They're interesting.
Okay.
Was he playing over a TP10?
Ooh, I missed that part. I'm not sure.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, by the way, too, Curtis, you mentioned a few times when we were showing some of the stuff that Henry showed off on the arcade cabinet. I don't think that was a real size arcade cabinet. I think it's one of those arcade one-ups that you buy at Walmart. It's about a 3/4 scale arcade cabinet. I think that's what that thing was he was showing the Coco off on. But it's still cool. Yeah, so he did something where he got the Coco running on one of those whatever arcade cabinet thing it was, real one or
it was
scale
Rampage
one.
or something. I think.
Yeah, it was a Rampage cabinet, and he got Coco or a Coco emulator. Excuse me, running on it. And we've been joined by Tony Pedraza, Vice President of the Glenside Color Computer Club, host of CoCoFest, the auctioneer of CoCoFest, former president of CoCoFest in Glenside, and just all around handsome man. Welcome to the program, Tony.
Good evening. I have not much to say. No. Wait.
Good night, everybody.
At TerrandyList.com. If you have not logged on to or input your data to TerrandyList.com, you can now do it without having an intermediary start you off, because there is now a register page so that anybody who has not yet logged on, registered, put their data in, whatever you wish to say, can do so without having one of the administrators start you off with a phony email address and password.
Okay.
So it's becoming more and more autonomous, which is interesting.
Yes.
So if any of you have not put your information in, and it's basically a database for Glenside, please do so, or check your information and make sure it's up to date.
Now, does this database back end to something that can be run on DOS by Bob Swagger?
It has a download capability, yes.
I'm just messing with you. I know that's the old version. That's a little insider humor there. So
yeah, it's a long O too. Swoger.
Yes.
Swoger.
Yeah, I understand that was one of the challenges, I think, was getting somebody to break free of letting go of that DOS database, right? So you could step into the 21st century. And is Randy?
Well, again, mind you, Bob will continue. Bob will continue to use the word profile. The original dump that he pulled into his setup came from OS9 Profile back in the early 90s, a database that I was keeping on the membership at that time. So it was all comma delimited in terms of a profile to ASCII dump, and he imported it into his operation. And from there, it was transferred on to TandyList, and with some minor anomalies.
But so the data has its retro roots to it, is what you're saying, right? It's all from the original. I remember talking to Randy Weaver about this one time when he was starting to get the website started, saying, "Listen, I want to do this and I want to do that, but Bob's doing something in DOS, and I've got to be able to make this work and that work." So it seemed like there were some couple of hurdles that had to be jumped to get this moved over to the web. But it sounds like you've made a lot of progress now, where people can self-register and get in there. That's great. Yeah, I think John Linville just commented too. You can create your own account. Tandylist.com is the place to go. Now, I have a real question, because I know I was registered there last year. I think Randy registered me himself, or verified me. There, you guys had a bunch of computers set up where you could just verify yourself on these little self-service terminals. If I don't remember my password and I go to TandyList, is there a way for me to reset my password? This is a real question, not a sarcastic one. Yeah, because I'm going to probably have to do that, because I don't know what my password would have been. So, okay, so I'll check that out.
Shadow.
Who's yelling at who right now? Is Linda yelling at somebody, Tony? Is she yelling at you, Tony?
My name is not Shadow.
Oh,
Shadow is the feline who abides with us, and he turns 1 year old next month.
Oh, wow. He's
the day after April Fool's Day. But he's a kitten, and he's curious. And if there's stuff up on the counter, he wants to know what it is.
There you go.
Wants to know what it is so we can push it off.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I'm going to push it off that counter. That's why they say the world is not flat, because the cats would have pushed everything off of it by now, right? So,
absolutely.
Cool
I have now
stuff.
successfully registered for CoCoFest 2019.
There we go. Jason Downs is registered. All right. Now, can we also, is this where we don't have to wait to pay to get in line when we check in stuff now too? Can we pre-register and validate ourselves through TandyList?
Yes, you can. You can, you can log in. You can then, actually, there is a pre-register section as well. That was up, I want to say last Sunday. And it was like, okay, that's great for people who have already registered with the database. What about somebody, and I believe, I don't think it was Jason Downs. I have the emails up. No, I don't have the emails up yet.
Yeah, it was me. I pointed out it didn't work.
Oh, it was Jason. Okay. He said, well, how do I log in? How do I register for CoCoFest if I don't have a username and TandyList?
Yeah.
So we pushed that this past week to make it easier for people to register online if they don't want to go to glensideccc.com and download the form, fill out the form, scan the form, send it back to me, and then visit PayPal themselves. There is a PayPal button on TandyList that you can push to go and finish completion of your registration for CoCoFest. Your credentials should, this is the first year, there's always glitches. You should be ready and waiting for you when you go to come through the door.
Neat.
Give Rich Berry your name, and he should have all that stuff ready for you.
Yeah, and John Linville just chimed in too. He says you will need to check in, but it should be faster if you've pre-registered, which is kind of what you just said too. That's cool. That's progress.
Yeah, little steps.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this, Tony.
Hey,
Predictions. predictions. I've been there 3 years in a row. We've gone from 80 to 100 to 120. So we've had some pretty good growth 3 years consistently. It's becoming a ladder or becoming a staircase that's going up. What do you predict the numbers will be like for this year? Do you think we're going to hit 150? That would be my guess.
Well, it depends on how much everybody promotes it. The past 3 years, we've had CoCoTALK. We've had other
Coco Crew,
where the word has been getting to more and more people.
Mm-hmm.
It could very well hit 150 this year.
Now, what was the biggest one that you can recall ever? Like when in the heydays of CoCos and stuff in Glenside, what was the biggest CoCo fest, attendance wise?
Heavens to Murgatroyd. I think I'd have to go back to the 90s. The first 5 years were, well, it was really heavily promoted. At least the first one was. It actually got into the pages of Rainbow through
Coco Pro and Dave Myers, wasn't it?
Coco Pro, David and Nancy Myers, and there were just there was a good throng.
Okay,
there was a real good throng.
Multiple hundreds from there.
So that was kind of riding the wave of the Rainbow, kind of passing the baton of Rainbow Fest to you guys. So. I'm going to predict. I'm going to go ahead and throw out that number 150. I think that's a good goal, and I think that's an achievable number. I'd like to see us do 150 this year.
I'll run some numbers. I'll run some numbers this week to see what we have and try to have a report for you next Sunday night.
No, that'll be neat. But yeah,
this is Saturday night. Saturday night.
Yeah. Well, for Nick Marenti's in Australia, it's already Sunday afternoon. So, I'm sorry, Curtis. What were you going to say now about something?
I was just going to say it's too bad you weren't around at the Rainbow Fest in their heyday. I mean, Tony can tell you how huge those things were. There was thousands of people. It was just wall to wall. You could barely walk.
Yeah,
and a much larger venue. They were amazing.
Yeah, Neil Blanchard says he's feeling 150. Well, listen, Neil, you only look like you're like 37. But if you're feeling 150, maybe get out in the sun, get some fresh air. That would be cool, though, 150 people showing up. And I just put the link to... Oh, that's Retro Challenge. Never mind. I was trying to put the link to Zoom, if anybody wanted to join us on Zoom here. I think that would be cool. I feel it in the air. It seems like the buzz continues to grow. The excitement, kind of like what David O'Connor's saying up here on the screen here. David's kind of been back in the community for not that long, but he's kind of got contagious by how much is going on. And I think that contagiousness just kind of self-perpetuates and inspires people. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I'd like to see 150 people there. I think we were on the cusp of 120 last year. I think we could do 150. I think that'd be cool if we did.
I think it's going to be close.
Yeah. That might be cause for celebration.
My wife keeps asking me how many other wives are going to be there.
Some of the people from the Chicago area, a lot of the Glenside folks have their better halves with them, right? So I know Linda Pedraza is there. Chris Hawks' wife is there, right? Who else has...
Mark Marlette's.
Mark Marlette's significant other, Sandy Weimer, she is there. Last year, Mikey brought his better half. Richard didn't bring his better half, did he?
No.
Mark D.
Coco Widows.
Yeah, Mark D. Overholzer had his better half there. So, yeah.
So there should be a few.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. The female species is not a complete rare sighting at CoCoFest. There are plenty of them there. So
it looks here on a real quick count just now. It looks like we have 50 people, exhibitors and attendees registered for the fest based upon the spreadsheet.
Okay.
Mark is coming?
Mark who? Which Mark?
Mark D. Oberholzer?
Mark D. Oberholzer? I don't know of this year if he's coming or not.
Last I heard he was...
no, he is not coming.
Not thinking.
No. Yeah, so we got to do better than 50. I'm sure we will. That's just people who had the foresight to register in advance. So, Rob Inman, he's a character. All right, so cool. All right, so what else have we not talked about that we need to talk about?
Have we talked about Nick Marotta?
You know what? I don't think we have. Have we talked about Nick Marotta at all tonight? We're slacking. Now, Nick was
Drivewire.
Yeah, Drivewire. We did sing David Ladd happy birthday. Yesterday was David Ladd's birthday, Jason, just in case you weren't aware.
Oh, I celebrated with Dr. Pepper and water.
and Taco Bell.
And then somebody came and stole it.
Yeah, somebody stole his Dr. Pepper from him. All right. Good times, good times. Well, I don't think we got too edgy tonight. So, maybe we're going to lose that audience, the people who like the edge. We've lost our edge. We have averaged about 10 people watching us on Facebook throughout the evening, give or take. We got 7 watching us there right now. We've got 24 on YouTube, but we've had pretty consistently 30 people or more watching the show. And to all of you, I just want to apologize. But we're here. What else? Have I missed anything, guys? What have we not said? Help me out here.
I had an interesting question about the value of. We were talking about eBay earlier on, and we're talking about things retro and becoming popular again. One thing I do know is in the music industry, in particular, with synthesizers and all the vintage stuff. This one down the back here, that's a Roland System 100, which was made in 1975. I got that off the original owner in the mid-90s, and I paid $400 for it in the original boxes with the original manuals. If you can find one of them on eBay these days, they're around $15,000.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the prices of all the other stuff. But the sequence is sitting on the top, that big box there. That's from a Roland System 700, which was the big brother of the System 100. And the cabinets I'm building underneath it are being modelled off the original System 700 design. There's a System 700 available in the UK at the moment, but that's been restored and it's in pretty good condition. For me to get that over here to Australia, it cost me $200,000, and that was like it's crazy money. And the prices of like some of these synthesizers, I've got a Roland Juno 106 here that I bought for like $60 in the mid-90s. They're selling for $2,500–3,000 on average now.
Wow.
So I'm just it's because all the retro stuff and all that 80s stuff has become popular again. So I'm looking at the prices of our CoCos, the CoCo 1, 2, and 3, and I'm looking at prices on eBay and trends, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see, maybe something similar happen there with the prices actually going sky high on those. I wonder whether that would really be.
Yeah. Well, what are your thoughts on the values of real-time clocks as we move forward?
You can never have too many real-time clocks.
Now, do you prefer analog time, or are you okay with digital time?
I'm okay with digital time, but I prefer analog time.
David, what do those synthesizers use for a processor? Wasn't there a dual 6809 synthesizer back in the day, in the 70s?
There probably, I wouldn't be surprised if there was. I know Z80s were popular in some of the I think the Prophet 5 and the Prophet 10, I think, was a Z80 based system. I don't quote me on that, I'm not 100% sure, but I know that the Z80s and probably the 6809s was when things went from manual patching with analog modules to having interfaces and having memory and stuff like that. I know Roland produced their own chips. They made custom CPUs for it. I used to work as a Roland service tech back in the day. But some of the other companies that weren't didn't have the same manufacturing clout as, say, Roland or Yamaha. I know they used, on the things that were easy to get in the day, probably 6809s and Z80s.
And we have somebody in the live chat asking about a way to get Windows 7 or get a CoCo running on Windows 7. So I just put in there VCC might be the easiest way to go. I'm going to put in the link to IMACoconut.com. So if you go to IMACoconut.com, that's a little website I put together with links to a lot of different things. And one of the tabs on there is a tab for emulators. Now, I have not updated that to include the new OVCC, the open source VCC that runs on Mac and Linux, but the traditional Windows VCC is probably the easiest emulator to get started with there. So go ahead and try that. I just put the link for you there, and IMACoconut.com. So get the version 2 point whatever of VCC, and that's a great starting place. You'll hit the ground running and can start working in BASIC and loading disk images and stuff like that. Yeah, you know what? To me, I think some of the synthesizer stuff changed, and this is, again, getting into how computers and music and technology have kind of merged, but again, like the CoCo was my first introduction to electronic music, and then my second one was the Tandy 1000, and I loved that one because it had that 3-voice music synthesizer on there, and Sierra Online with all those King's Quest games and stuff were really influential in kind of pushing the envelope of computerized music. And then in the later 80s, they crossed over to starting to support MIDI. And I think it was right around King's Quest 4, they supported the Roland MTU 301 or whatever the hell it was called. I forgot that was a very popular MIDI synth box you could just plug into a computer. Do you remember which Roland that one was? It was, I know I'm getting the letters and numbers in a general right order there.
There was the most popular of the Roland, like small modules in the day, were the 2 drum machines, the TR-808 and the TR-909, and there was the TB-303. I don't know whether that's what you were thinking of, is it?
Well, I know it's like a Roland MT3U01 or whatever. It's something in that ballpark, but it was basically a little black box that you plugged into MIDI, and it was a synthesizer it was a keyboard without the keys, and you talk to it via MIDI.
Module. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, module. Yeah.
Yep. Recommend module.
And so Sierra Online supported that, and so some of these King's Quest games were driving that MIDI module, and so that was the high-end way to experience music on an early PC before general MIDI and onboard MIDI got baked into the Sound Blaster cards and stuff like that. But I remember that being really, really cutting edge, was to have like a MIDI interface card in your PC plugged into that Roland and playing like King's Quest or whatever on that. That was like, blown away to hear that. And I think, do you think that was maybe a change from analog to digital becoming more mainstream, was around the time of that module? Because to me, I think since then, general MIDI has become a standard. A lot of things have been standardized with MIDI now. Was that like the line in the sand where the analogs maybe became more passé in like the 90s?
It was a bit earlier than that.
Yeah.
The thing that really changed the face of synthesizers completely was, once again, the DX7. Yamaha DX7 was an FM-based digital synthesizer.
Okay.
And when it was released, it was producing all these sounds that nobody else had ever heard a synthesizer do before. And recording studios were full of them. Artists had them everywhere. As I was saying earlier on in the program, pretty much all the top 40 hits from, say, 1984 onwards, you could be guaranteed to find a DX7 at least in one place or another in those tracks. So the DX7 was the synthesizer that really put the nail in the coffin at the time for for analog. But then, like you said, there was the forerunners to the Roland Sound Canvas was the one that they released probably in the early 90s. That was the one that came after the modules that you were mentioning earlier. That was all general MIDI and everything else. Now it's interesting. Right now, everything's come full circle again, and manufacturers are now manufacturing analog synthesizers, and some of the the classic companies like Tom Oberheim synthesizers, and Sequential Circuits, Dave Smith. It just so happens that Dave Smith was one of the guys that helped invent the original MIDI standard, which we still use in our studios now.
Yeah.
But it's what is being worked on right now at this very moment. They're beta testing and adding functions to MIDI 2.
MIDI 2. Ooh.
MIDI 2, yeah, the new generation of MIDI, which is backwards compatible with all of the old stuff.
Oh.
But it also enables all sorts of other real-time controllers. Like you can have wearable controllers that would have 3D motions, up, height, width, and depth, and everything.
Wow. Like a body instrument, a bodysuit instrument or something, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's MIDI expression, what they're building into MIDI 2, so that you can actually physically involve your body in creating expressive sounds when you're playing an instrument.
That's wild. Wow.
That kind of reminds me of the theremin, the one where you used to put your hand in, it would wave, where they did all those 50s space movies on.
That's another Bob Moog invention.
Moog is still around. They're in the Carolinas. I got some people I used to work with that ended up working at Moog, and I remember talking to them, giving recommendations over the phone to some of my former employees that went to Moog. So and that's cool.
Two of the my chair there. This is the 2000. It was released in 2001, I think. This is the modern take on the Mini Moog, which was all the prog rock bands in the early 70s used the Mini Moog. This is the Mini Moog Voyager. It's basically the same analog circuitry. It's got digital menus, got a touchpad with pressure sensitivity. And then this one up here at the top, that's also a modern Moog Mother 32, it's called, which was released about 2 years ago. And that's all fully analog, but with digital programmable functions in it. So, we've seen it in the music industry with synthesizers. We've seen a complete reversal all the way back to analog stuff.
Yeah.
And manufacturers making new analog synthesizers. But we're also seeing the popularity of their DX7 coming back again. So digital is also coming as well. And the whole lot's being combined together. And you're finding people are now using analog and digital together.
Wow. Which is almost like a new renaissance of electronic music, huh?
Absolutely.
Retro music now as well as retro computing.
Yeah, a lot of people doing chiptune stuff where they're composing stuff to play on the sound chips of the old game consoles and stuff. So it's literally, as a matter of fact, Coco Crew talked about that. A German composer made an album that was released on a Sega Mega Drive cartridge, where you actually have to plug the album into the Sega game system to play it on its onboard music synthesizer. That's pretty retro.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, David, I found it's called Fairlight CMI.
The Fairlight was a 6809, was it?
Yeah, it was dual 6809, I guess.
Oh, that I had no idea the Fairlight had 6809s in it. That was a really high-profile instrument. That was tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment there, and only the big studios had them.
Wow.
One of the first.
79 it came out, I guess.
Michael Jackson's album Thriller had that all over it.
It said it had 8 to 16 voices. It was multi-timbral, and it had additive synthesis, 8-bit sampling at 16 kilohertz and 16-bit at 100 kilohertz.
Wow!
And it was an Australian invention too.
Wow!
It was an Australian company, CMI, that made the Fairlight.
Yeah, the Series 2X is the one that had the 6809. The earlier version had the 6800.
Okay, yeah, you're right. It's on Wikipedia. It's a big article about it and pictures.
Yeah.
I had no idea that 6809. That's really.
So there's a Coco connection there.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's what it looks like.
I think it actually ran a version of OS 9 too.
I think it did too. I think I remember reading that.
On the Fairlight.
Jean-Michel Jarre, who I was mentioning earlier on, the French composer who released Oxygen, he released an album a lot of albums actually in the 80s, but one of them, I think, Zulu, I think he used the Fairlight CMI fairly extensively on.
That's cool. That's cool.
I think there was another album that had, what was the album that had, it was Rendezvous. That's right. The last track on Rendezvous was meant to be played, the first track to be recorded in space. Ron McNair, who was killed in the Challenger disaster, had recorders with him in his saxophone, and he was going to record the saxophone piece for that last track on Rendezvous album. And of course, because of the tragedy of the shuttle exploding, Jean-Michel Jarre then used that track on the album as a tribute to Ron McNair.
They said Todd Rundgren, Nick Rhodes of Duran Duran, Rhett Lawrence, Herbie Hancock, Stevie Wonder. They all used those.
Oh, Herbie Hancock, Rocket. Bam, bam,
yep.
bam, 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 da, 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 da.
And Boz Burnell of Bad Company purchased one.
Peter Gabriel used it fairly extensively too.
Wow. Yeah, and there was a time those things when they were new were wicked expensive back in the day too.
Oh yeah. It was six figures.
Yeah.
It was Michael Jackson's album. It was full of that and the old analog stuff as well. The Roland Jupiter 8. That was, the introduction to Thriller was on a Roland Jupiter 8. So there was a crossover of analog and digital there in that period that was used on a lot of popular albums in the day.
Yeah, I think it was that Yamaha piano. That Yamaha piano was like known as the house music piano that was used throughout the whole 90s, right? That DX7 one, like that piano sound was used in almost all house music, you know. It's like, get your good vibrations. Like I think Marky Mark even used it in his, like everybody had that house piano and they all sounded exactly the same, right? So
I'll see if I can find it. I've got it again.
One thing I wish I still had, but I had a Sound Blaster card that had a daughter board that was a Korg synthesizer that you plugged onto the Sound Blaster card, and then I used a MIDI. Oh, that sounds cool.
This is the Yamaha DX7 piano you're talking That's very Tangerine Dreamy sort of stuff.
Yeah, man, that sounds really cool. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the classic. But the overused Yamaha piano that was on just about everything.
Yeah.
And the thing with Yamaha FM with the DX7 in its day too, the presets were really good in it. It was very difficult to program if you didn't know how to program FM synthesis, but it was very, very powerful. It was just a completely different mindset to anything that anybody had ever used before with analog synthesis. But for those who took the time to actually learn it, it was extremely powerful. Brian Eno, in a lot of his albums, he used the DX7 exclusively and programmed everything on it for every part of his albums. So I actually took the time to sit down and learn FM synthesis at the time, and I still use FM synthesis in my compositions today.
Wow. And that's what's in the Mega Mini MPI, so it's all coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the reasons I'm so interested in the Mini MPI.
Yeah, it's touching home for you on a lot of levels there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be great if we can get you to Coco Fest and join the musical jam.
I'd love to be at Coco Fest. If I was in the States, I'd be there for sure.
Yeah. Cool. This is awesome, man. Listen, that was one of the topics of the show today was music, and we've had a lot of music talk, and it's not all Coco, but I think it's all Coco related because it's all tying into the Coco, what's going to happen with it. So I got no problem hearing about electronic music, and if anybody does, then y'all can just switch over to another channel as far as I'm concerned. So
that one.
Yeah.
You got my vote.
I'll be back.
Yeah, Ron says I'll be back. So, all right, cool. So I'll ask the question again. Have we covered enough for one night, or can anybody think of anything else we need to talk about tonight? Anyone? Curtis
The
Boyle, parting
outro.
thoughts? You're muted. Your lips are moving, but I can't hear what you say, Curtis.
Oops, sorry, I was muted.
There you go.
I was going to say, no, I threw in a couple of extra things at the end there, like Reitfeld's, Qual trackpad stuff, but I haven't seen anything else pop in there really quick. So,
okay.
I'm
Yeah, cool. So, Brian, the music, man, we covered some music tonight. Did that work for you?
Well, of course it did. There's a few more synthesizers that use the 6809. A couple of the Oberheim units, the Expander, the Matrix, PBG Wave. Anyone remember that one?
Yeah.
And also some of the Sonic units, the SPD1, the SQ1, and the SQ80. Those also use the 6809.
Wow.
What was it, Brian? What was you mentioned some of the synthesizers you had there too? What have you got in your collection then?
I have besides a couple keyboards, actually just one keyboard right now. We've got a TG55 rack unit, then a Yamaha equipment, TG300 and a TG33. I like the warmer sounds of the 33. It's more organic and more fleshy sound.
Wow.
Yeah.
Organic and fleshy. Wow, we've heard it all here on
Fleshy,
CoCoTALK.
not flashy. Fleshy.
Did you say? You said
that almost sounds worse. But anyway.
You said? Did you say flesh, like skin, fleshy sound?
Yes, it's more organic sound.
Yes. Yeah. No, I get you. I feel you. Cool stuff. Fleshy. It's got a fleshy sound to it. For those of you who don't know what flesh sounds like, you might want to listen to that. Put your ear against your arm and listen to your flesh, and you'll know what Brian's talking about. Now, I like organic sounds. Brian Weasler, the guy who gets stuff off of eBay, he takes no prisoners, and he gets the things. He doesn't pay full price. He's kind of like... remember those William Shatner commercials? Priceline negotiators, right? So he's like, I am not going to pay full price for this eBay listing, right? So good stuff, Brian.
You're welcome. I'll try to be on time next week, but
yeah.
Heads up, come up last minute. So
thanks for sharing. You got to wind those real-time clocks. There's a little thing on there. You wind them up, and then they keep going. So that's good.
Don't lose the key.
Hopefully you saved a lot on your car insurance too.
Hey, did Breeza get his pad working?
Breeza, did you get a pad working?
Yeah, I got it going. It was a bit erratic. It kept on auto centering when I was trying to play Jeweled with it, Roger Taylor's Jeweled game. It doesn't work too crash up with that, so it doesn't like auto sensory. It needs to be just straight flayed around the place.
You may have to take some training.
Yeah, I'll try
play
playing
with it a while. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll probably really be good on certain types of games anyway that are designed for that type of.
Yeah, I think the precision's out on it.
You might have to bang it down and seat the chips in it.
It's like an Apple III. How you got to pick it up and drop it so the chips fall back into their sockets, right? What was that other commercial? The guy, remember the Midas commercials? I'm not going to pay a lot for this muffler, right? Yeah. I am not going to pay full price on this eBay listing. Cool stuff. Oh, so Truth Forever One is saying, is there a Coco Fest in Florida? I don't know where you are in Florida, but I'm in Florida too, Truth Forever. And we actually have a Florida Retro Club meeting. There was actually a meeting today that I did not go to, because I would not have made it back in time to do Coco Fest if I did. Or CoCoTALK, I should say, not Coco Fest. But yeah, we have a Florida Retro Club, and we meet every couple of months, either in South Florida or in Central Florida. So you ought to reach out. I don't know who you are, Truth Forever One. I don't know if you're on Facebook, but you should reach out to us on Facebook, or you can email us at CoCoTalk@CoCoTalk.live. I'll put that out there on the live chat. But yeah, you can reach out to us on the show here. I can tell you what's going on in Florida. What else was I going to say? I don't know. We've said a lot. We've had unboxings. We've seen Dragons with 32 cassettes. We've seen software still sealed in plastic by Brian Weasler. We've seen an analog room of musical amazingness with David O'Connor. We listened to some Game Master Cartridge music by a few different people, including Farfall, the new Farfall Master Edition. We've heard Brian, the Music Man, play some music and tell us that we've learned about musical instruments that had 6809s in them with OS 9 running. I mean, there's definitely a CoCo connection here going on here. It's all in the family. It's a good thing. Jim Gerrie's been with us. He's got a frog blinking his eyes in the background there. That's pretty impressive.
MC Hypnotoad.
MC Hypnotoad. Okay.
Yeah, you're going to get people licking their screens. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it.
Somebody touched this beforehand, didn't they?
Oh, man. So what else have we talked about here? Okay, so Brian, okay, Mark Bosley, everything good with you? You got your hockey bobbleheads that still have all their teeth, so that's good.
Yeah, put them all away.
Okay. Any parting thoughts, words of wisdom for us?
No.
No,
not bad.
If you want to contribute to the new rainbow, please do so.
Yeah.
That would be a good thing. It's going to take a little while before we get it produced, but it's going to be awesome.
I believe it. I feel it in my bones, and I would definitely I'd like an autographed copy of the new rainbow. So what else? Ron Delvaux, you're going to be cranking away on our new Rainbow magazine. I know where it's in good hands. When it's in your hands, you're a creative genius.
Yep, we just need to concentrate on time and get it done and be motivated.
Yeah.
So Mark Overholzer has a very good mind on that guy. He's he's got lots of good ideas and stuff.
Yeah, too bad it's all wasted on the Apple II, though.
Why? His heart is in it, so
yeah, that's true. His heart's in he's an Apple II guy, but his heart's with the CoCo, and that's just fine. Jim Gerrie, anything you want to let your fans know where they can see you next and get an autograph signing or anything like that, or?
I just put all my stuff on Game Jolt. You can play all my MC10 games in a JavaScript emulator. It's a hosting site for games.
Okay.
Indie game.
Game Jolt, like Game the cola, Jolt. Jolt.
Yeah.
GameJolt.com.
Like Jolt Cola.
Like Jolt Cola. Jason Downs, what's next? You've got a dragon from the UK boxed up with 35 cassettes. What are you going to do for an encore?
I have no idea. The Dragon 64 seems to be worth its weight in gold. So
yeah. Has anybody got their sights on the New York Times edition CoCo 2 with the engraved badge on it? So or the crown jewel of your collection. I tell you who,
it's the fruitcake of the CoCo world.
Somebody's gonna make a fruitcake CoCo,
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
Richard Lorbieski, without divulging any information, could we possibly look forward to a new product from Boyson Technologies at CoCo Fest, a world premiere or anything?
Oh, sure, you will.
You will?
Oh, yeah.
Will a real-time clock be involved?
Yes, actually.
How about the sequel, the Fake Time Clock?
Yeah. No, I am developing a simple real-time clock that's going to go with a dual serial card.
Okay.
It'll plug right in.
This has David Ladd written all over it.
Oh yeah. It's
dual stereo.
Now this isn't going to let blue smoke out of my machine if I plug it in.
No, not at all. No.
The lights aren't going to dim when I turn on the computer.
Nope. Not yet, but it may raise your bill, but I don't think it'll dim it.
Well, so somebody just mentioned here, Truth Forever saying, I hope I keep watching these shows, CoCoTALK shows. So here's the thing, we're on episode 98, which means there's been 97 other episodes before this. And I think I forgot to mention that, but there was somebody on Facebook this week. I wish I could find I forgot to bookmark that one, but it says, "Oh man, I just started watching CoCoTALK and that Rage Quit episode was classic." I think it's really interesting now when somebody quotes an episode number or title and uses it as a reference point. That to me is something completely unexpected. An episode, matter of fact, it was Nick Marotta that was talking about, hey, I looked up one of your old episodes on how to install MAME and I got MAME running. So we've covered so many topics in the past 97 episodes. I don't remember what we talked about last week. You know what I mean? So we're talking about
100 spectacular.
Well, it probably won't be spectacular, but we'll have a 100.
We want to break tradition now. This way,
it'll be triple digits.
100. That's gosh.
I know. But no, it's something that I completely never expected was to somehow become like a resource. And people are mentioning, an episode 12 topic, whatever. And now that's great. That's completely, everything about this show has been completely unexpected. Yeah. So MAME episode 12, where we had Tim Lindner, who's been pretty much one of the main devs on the CoCos side, getting stuff worked for MAME. Tim really broke it down for us. Not only how to run it, but how to, shortcut some of the menus, how to shortcut some config files. He even showed if somebody wants to do the making of it or the building of it and create it on a Linux or Mac system, how to do it in minimal time. There was a lot of good information in there. That was also the next day we had the world debut of the Speech Sound Pack got emulated to MAME too, and that was a huge project and a huge victory to get that Speech Sound Pack running in emulation because nobody's done it yet,
And we had Floppy Talk for a while, didn't we?
Floppy Talk, yeah, with David Ladd. We've had so many different things, and again, most of it's never been planned or expected. They just kind of happened and just kind of evolved and organically happened. It was very organic and very fleshy how this show has how this show has just become whatever it is. So
it would be cool to play the retrospective sometime again. Remember that one that was made up?
Yeah, we have a couple best ofs.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm going to play the closing credits to give you guys about a minute and a half to think about what you want to say for our final thoughts, and we'll get our final thoughts after our closing credits. Now I just have to find them. I don't know where they are. I have too many things here to choose from. You know what I didn't play? Let's play the Make the Trek song here. Let's play the theme song to CoCo Fest before we play us out here.
The reading's growing stronger, Captain. Coming from a star system directly ahead.
CoCo Fest, make the trek to the place you belong. Illinois, Heron Point, make the trek, CoCo Fest.
CoCo Fest, May 4th and 5th, 2019 in Lombard, Illinois. Make the trek. Touch the heron.
Fascinating.
This concludes another episode of CoCoTALK, the world's leading live talk show featuring the Tandy Color Computer. For all things CoCoTALK, visit us on the web at CoCoTalk.live. We'd love to hear from you. Send feedback, suggestions, even segments via email to CoCoTalk@CoCoTalk.live. Consider supporting the show with a purchase of merchandise from our retro swag shop at 8bit256.com. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, click on the Patreon link on our site at CoCoTalk.live. CoCoTalk would not exist without the community and its cast and crew. Thanks go to Curtis Boyle, David Ladd, Mark Overholzer, Grant Leedy, Bruce Moore, Nick Marentes, Ron Delvaux, Rick Adams, Jason Reichert, Richard Lorbieski, Jim Brain, Karen Anscombe, Simon Jonason, and many, many more. Special thanks to Steve Bjork for production suggestions and to Brian Joyce, Ken Reichert, and Rob Inman for all of their bonus content and contributions, as well as Roger Taylor for getting us on the CoCo TV channel on Roku. Please help support the CoCo community by visiting some of its contributors. The CoCo Crew podcast at cococrew.org. Glenside Color Computer Club, host of CoCo Fest at glensidecc.com. Jim Brain and Retro Innovations at go4retro.com. Tandy Assembly at tandyassembly.com. Boyson Technologies at boysontech.com. Get your own switcheroo and wallaby cable at cocoman.biz. Cloud9 Technologies at cloud9tech.com. CoCoTALK is hosted by Steve Strobridge. Co-hosts, technical directors, segment hosts, and producers Curtis Boyle, David Ladd, Grant Leedy, Mark Overholzer, Ron Delvaux, and Jason Reichert. The CoCoTALK theme song is copyright 2008 by D. Bruce Moore and Greg Sheeler. Mixed, mastered, and produced by D. Bruce Moore. Lots of great audio content there from D. Bruce Moore, one of our CoCo musician extraordinaires, producer, engineer, singer, songwriter. Make the trek is the slogan for this year's CoCo Fest. We want to encourage everybody to make that trek. We want to see a minimum of 150 people at CoCo Fest this year. We want to have the fire marshal be warning us that there are too many people here and that we are putting human lives at risk and in jeopardy here. We want to endanger personal well-being by attending CoCo Fest this year. Now, maybe that's pushing it just a little bit, but yeah, wouldn't that be a great problem to have, that we just, sorry folks, we can't let you in because CoCo Fest is full. That would be a great problem to have. So we hope that we get a lot of people showing up this year. All right. Retro Innovation says, yay, back to peace and quiet. You know, nobody's forcing you to watch or listen to this show, Jim, but that's okay. All right. So final thoughts. Uh-oh. Brian the Music Man.
Is there anybody that has a picture of people touching the heron? I don't think I've ever seen.
I believe they've all been confiscated by the law enforcement agencies. So,
yeah, actually, I usually do it before David Ladd touches it.
Don't touch the heron. Stop touching yourself.
Yes, I feel bad for the guy who's got to disinfect the heron after we leave each year.
or the newer one could be rubbed David Ladd's head.
Yeah, buff the head, right? Yeah. So this doesn't sound as good as touch the heron. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Brian, the Music Man Shoebring, is going to play us out.
We're gonna ever have a CoCo After Dark again someday in the distant.
We are. It's after dark now. Yeah.
Yeah. The let your hair down one.
Has your hair been up, Ron, this whole time? Has your hair been up?
That's up.
Does your hair need letting down? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think we can do it sometime.
Yeah, take the curls out.
All right. Well, do you guys want to take a break and come back and we'll do an after dark after the show right now?
If I could just put one little quick thing in now.
Sure. Go ahead, David.
If anybody knows where I can get a CoCo 3 in Australia, or even shipped to Australia without having to fork out a kidney or an arm or something, be greatly appreciated. Yeah, the shipping costs are often a killer to get it over to Australia, but I'm on the lookout for CoCo 3. So.
Sounds like
So
the
what
price
you want to
is
do is
flesh.
find someone selling on eBay who wants to or is willing to use the global shipping program because it's available in the U.S. too. So a U.S. seller can use it to ship overseas, and it's a heck of a lot cheaper for them than to ship it direct to you.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
The other person you might talk to is Ian Maverick. He's more into Model 3s and 4s, but he dabbles in the CoCo as well. And he's based in Australia.
Oh, good one. Okay.
Yeah, you can find CoCo stuff with him because I've checked out his stuff. He does have it. He's got floppy drives and everything.
Is he on the CoCo Facebook group?
Yeah, you should be able to find him there.
Yes, he's active on the Facebook.
He's part of the TRS-80 Trash Talkers podcast where they talk about mostly the the Z80 and TRS-80 line. But yeah, you can reach him in the CoCo Facebook group. Ian Maverick, the Mav.
And he makes hardware too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he makes his own hardware. He makes the Fred.
Like the floppy drives that like controls.
Yeah, he makes some CoCo hardware. Like he has a floppy drive reproduction and a few other things like that too. So I think he reproduced the high-res Color Max joystick interface recently too, I think, or something like that.
He also done the floppy disk controller as well.
Yeah, so he's reproduced a few things.
Oh, good one. I'll get onto him. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for being here, and come back anytime, especially when you have some more updates where we can see and hear what you're doing with the CoCo and the Mega Mini MPI controlling all this layers of sound.
Yeah, well, they'll be arriving here this week. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Awesome.
Plus, you speak more fluent Australian than Nick does, so you can help translate for us too.
Yeah.
So please. More often.
Yeah, Nick sounds like he's eating a box of crackers and Vegemite when he's talking. So. Cool. All right, so final vote. Do we want to have an After Dark? I can take a 5-minute potty break and queue up After Dark if you guys want to come back. And it's freaking midnight, dudes.
Yeah, let's do this.
You guys want to do it?
Yeah,
all right. Well, you guys can stay on the Zoom call if you want. I'm going to end transmission here in just a minute. We are going to conclude CoCoTALK episode 98. But for those watching live, if you want to go smoke them, drink them, take a potty break, and come back, we will continue the fun and frolicking with the first After Dark that we've had in God knows how long. I don't remember the last time we had an actual After Dark. And this is requested by Ron Delvaux of no less. So if this sucks, it's all his fault. So.
Oh, thanks.
No pressure. No pressure.
I have to go.
All right. So I'm going to end the broadcast, but you guys can stay on the Zoom call for those who want to continue talking CoCo, and we'll be back in just a little bit. So just refresh your browsers. If you're on Facebook, though, I think it's going to start a new feed, so you might need to jump over to the CoCoTALK Facebook page, and a new feed will start shortly. If you're on YouTube, just refresh the browser, and you'll see it reappear in just a moment. Okay, so this is the sound of me hanging up. Everybody say goodbye.
Dragon forever.
Say goodbye.
Okay. Episode